Tonight, the code behind reality flickers within reach. Symbols align, doors unlatch, and your silent wishes gather into form. Decode the pattern once, and lack evaporates like mist at sunrise. Enter the matrix of manifestation and watch life bend kindly toward you with grace, precision always. Since the first spark of wonder lit the human heart, seekers have noticed a quiet symmetry beneath events, a lattice of meanings, nudges, and repeating numbers that feels like the universe tapping the glass. We give it many names: providence, luck, law, grace. Here we call it the manifestation matrix, the elegant pattern that translates inner signal into outer scene. This is not a superstition. It is a discipline of attention, emotion, and identity practiced at the thresholds, those liminal moments before sleep, upon waking, and in the stillness between breaths. The matrix is not out there. It is the choreography of your consciousness with reality's receptive fabric. When you learn its grammar, how thoughts carry frequency, how feelings shape probability, how action locks the waveform into form, you stop pleading with life and begin collaborating with it. This audiobook is a guided decoding. You will learn to quiet the noise that scrambles your broadcast, select a signature state that magnetizes fulfillment, and install new patterns without strain. Stories, rituals, and precise exercises will help you imprint desired outcomes into the fertile dark of the subconscious and the luminous field around you. You'll work with symbols, scripts, and subtle prompts that the matrix reliably responds to. Gratitude as amplifier, clarity as compass, presence as power. You are not here to chase what is already yours in potential. You are here to remember how to receive. Decode once, refine daily, and watch doors that were walls. By the final chapter, you will hold your personal schematic, simple, repeatable, and kind, so that abundance ceases to be an event and becomes your ordinary weather. Breathe, listen. The pattern is already leaning toward you. Chapter 1. The Lattice Beneath Life. Since the earliest campfires lit the darkness, humankind has sensed something more than chance weaving through their days. The ancients spoke of threads, of fate's loom, of invisible patterns knitting together what seemed random. That sense has never left us. Deep down, you have felt it too. The sudden encounter that solved a long-standing problem, the whisper of intuition that saved you from a mistake, the uncanny sequence of numbers or symbols that refused to stop appearing. These are not curiosities to be dismissed. They are the lattice, subtle, constant, and patient, stretching beneath your every breath, guiding you toward recognition of the manifestation matrix. To see this lattice is not to conjure something foreign, but to wake to what has always been holding you. Imagine the world as a grand cathedral of invisible beams. Most live only noticing the walls and the floor, assuming solidity to be all that exists. But when you look up, past the ordinary, you see arches curving with symmetry, stained glass bending light into kaleidoscopic patterns, a framework vast and deliberate. This framework does not demand belief. It asks only for attention. The lattice beneath life is both map and mirror. It reflects your inner world while guiding your steps across the outer one. Every choice you make, every thought you release into the air, enters this web and vibrates across its strands. Like the pluck of a harp string, your signal reverberates far beyond where it began, stirring echoes that return to you as circumstances. Some call this karma, others call it resonance. In truth, it is neither punishment nor reward. It is mechanics, precise as geometry. The lattice responds to input, and what you live tomorrow is shaped by the frequency you release today. The difficulty lies not in the lattice, but in your sight. Just as a child first learning letters cannot yet see words in a page of script, most of us miss the writing scrawled across the days. Yet once the pattern begins to reveal itself, you cannot unsee it. A missed bus leads to meeting the mentor who alters your career. A book falls open to the exact sentence your heart was starving for. A conversation overheard provides the missing puzzle piece to your problem. Skeptics call it coincidence. But when the pattern repeats with such precision, coincidence fades into recognition of the lattice humming underneath all things. To begin decoding, you must train your awareness like eyes adjusting to starlight. The first exercise is simple but powerful. Pause twice a day and review the last few hours as though they were a dream. Ask, if this were a dream I just awoke from, what would the symbols mean? Perhaps the spilled coffee is your subconscious urging you to slow down. Perhaps the crow cawing 3 times outside your window is a reminder to speak truth you've been withholding. The meanings themselves are not rigid. What matters is the act of listening. The lattice responds more boldly to those who notice. Stories from seekers across cultures confirm this. A farmer in Japan once prayed for guidance during drought. The next day, 3 dragonflies circled his well, an omen he recognized from folk tales. He deepened the well at that exact spot, striking water. A healer in Greece dreamt of bees swarming her hands. The following week, she discovered her gift for touch-based medicine. In each case, the lattice whispered, and they responded with faith. Faith here is not blind. It is an alignment with recognition. You too stand surrounded by whispers daily. The manifestation matrix will not shout above your distractions. It waits for you to attune. Once you do, life becomes less about force and more about following trails of light already laid for you. This is not surrender in weakness, but surrender in partnership. You are not inventing outcomes from nothing. You are collaborating with a structure already humming with your possibility. The lattice beneath life is your introduction to the matrix. Every chapter that follows will teach you how to send clearer signals into this network, how to translate desire into geometry, and how to receive the resonant echoes with grace. For now, simply remember, nothing is random. The invisible is always arranging, always listening, always reflecting. Your task is to notice, to honor, and to step onto the pattern laid out for your highest unfolding. Chapter 2. Signal versus Noise. Once you glimpse the lattice, the next challenge emerges with startling clarity. Your broadcast is clouded. The manifestation matrix does not fail. It cannot. But like a radio dial turned slightly off frequency, your intentions distort before they can be mirrored back to you. The culprit is noise, mental static, emotional turbulence, and the inherited loops of thought you repeat without questioning. To manifest with elegance, you must separate signal from noise. Signal is pure intention. It is desire refined into clarity and infused with emotion that carries conviction. When you remember a moment of true longing, a wish that vibrated through your bones, you felt signal. It hums without doubt, a clean note struck on crystal. Noise, by contrast, is clutter, the scattered what-ifs, the anxious rehearsals of worst-case scenarios, the muttered complaints you whisper without noticing. Noise clouds the channel, and the lattice dutifully mirrors confusion back into form. Consider a musician tuning an instrument. The note they seek is steady, resonant, and undeniable. But until they adjust the string, every pluck produces dissonance. In the same way, your mind is an instrument. It requires tuning daily and consciously. Most never bother, letting the accumulated grime of worry, media, and old wounds jam the broadcast. They blame fate when outcomes disappoint, never realizing the lattice was only echoing back what it received. Static. The first step in clearing noise is recognition. Throughout your day, pause and ask, what am I broadcasting right now? If you are replaying an argument, that is noise. If you are muttering fears of scarcity, that is noise. If your chest is tight with shame, that too is noise. Do not condemn yourself for this. Awareness itself begins the clearing. The act of naming transforms unconscious repetition into conscious choice. The second step is substitution. Signal cannot exist in a vacuum. You must replace the static with intention. If worry arises about money, do not merely say, "I will not think of scarcity." Instead, tune to sufficiency. Breathe deeply, recall a moment of genuine plenty, and let your body remember what enough feels like. This embodied memory is the clean note. Play it long enough, and the lattice will return, it amplified as lived experience. The third step is maintenance. Signal clarity is not achieved once and forgotten. Just as dust returns to every surface, noise will always attempt to creep back. The practice becomes hygiene, clearing, tuning, resetting. Some find meditation invaluable, others prefer movement or chanting. Whatever method brings your awareness into coherence, use it daily. A signal tended is a future secured. Stories illuminate this truth. A woman named Lyora once dreamed of publishing her art, yet she spent her days muttering, "It's too late, no one cares." Her lattice responded faithfully. Rejection letters, silence, obscurity. One evening, exhausted, she caught herself and laughed. "I've been broadcasting the opposite of what I want." She began a simple ritual of standing before her paintings each night, whispering, "My art finds those who need it." Within months, opportunities arose as though summoned from nowhere. But it was not nowhere. It was the lattice returning her cleaned signal. You too have likely seen moments where signal slipped through. The effortless synchronicity, the lucky break, the exact phrase overheard that answered your question. These are glimpses of what clear broadcasting yields. The work of this chapter is to make that clarity consistent rather than accidental. Imagine living with a channel so clear that every whisper of desire is answered with precision. That is not fantasy. It is mechanics applied with care. Noise is inevitable, but it is not sovereign. Your awareness, your choice, and your practice hold the power. Begin today with gentle vigilance. Each time you notice static, smile, name it, and tune back to signal. With repetition, your life becomes less random, more responsive, until you live not at the mercy of noise, but in the harmony of signal, the clean dialogue between your soul and the lattice that always listens. Chapter 3. The Identity Switch. Every system of manifestation rests on a foundation often overlooked: who you believe yourself to be. Desire is powerful, signal is essential, but identity is the transmitter. If you broadcast from the identity of lack, the lattice reflects lack, no matter how polished your intentions. This is why so many struggle, laboring to think positive, while secretly carrying the self-image of unworthiness. To work with the manifestation matrix effectively, you must perform the great shift, the identity switch. Identity is not merely a name or role, it is the felt sense of I am. These two words are the most potent incantation you will ever utter. Whatever follows I am imprints directly upon the lattice, shaping the geometry of your life. When you say, "I am unlucky," or even silently believe it, the matrix confirms it with circumstances. When you say, "I am chosen," the same mechanics apply. The switch is not cosmetic, it is foundational. Imagine a stage actor stepping into character. The costume helps, but the true transformation comes when they inhabit the role fully. Posture, tone, thought, breath. In that moment, they do not pretend. They become. The identity switch is the same. To manifest abundance, you must step into the role of one who already lives in sufficiency. To manifest love, you must embody one who is already loved, already lovable. The lattice does not differentiate between rehearsal and performance. It responds to embodiment. Begin with awareness of your current script. Notice the silent declarations you repeat daily. I am tired, I am broke, I am behind, I am unworthy. These are not harmless phrases, they are commands. The lattice obeys without question. Once identified, begin the gentle yet deliberate substitution. Choose new declarations aligned with your desired outcomes. I am resourceful. I am provided for. I am becoming. I am already. At first, the words may feel foreign, even false. Persist. Identity reshapes through repetition. Yet words alone are not enough. The identity switch requires embodiment. If you claim, I am abundant, yet hunch your shoulders in defeat, your body betrays the signal. Practice alignment. Stand as one who is abundant. Breathe as one who is secure. Walk as one who is loved. These subtle shifts transmit frequencies more powerfully than affirmations alone. The body does not lie. It becomes the clearest antenna you possess. Stories reveal the potency of this practice. A merchant named Raphael struggled endlessly, repeating, I am cursed in business. His lattice responded faithfully, failed ventures, betrayals, debts. One night, guided by desperation, he chose a different phrase. I am a master of opportunity. He embodied it, straightened his back, spoke with conviction, dressed with care. Within weeks, a chance meeting turned into a thriving partnership. The lattice did not change. His identity did. The identity switch is not about arrogance or denial. It is about truth at a deeper level. Beneath the noise, beneath the inherited wounds, you already are abundant, loved, capable, whole. The matrix mirrors that truer self once you inhabit it. Each time you declare I am with intention, you remind both yourself and the lattice of what is eternally so. Practice daily. Upon waking, whisper 3 I am statements that align with your desired self. Carry them in posture, in breath, in tone. Repeat them at night, imprinting them into the twilight state. Watch as circumstances bend to this new identity, not because you begged for change, but because you became the one for whom such change is inevitable. The identity switch is the master lever. Once pulled, effort decreases, synchronicity increases, and manifestation becomes less about striving and more about living. You are not trying to become. Your task is to remember and embody what you already are. The matrix listens most clearly to those who know themselves. And now you are learning to speak its language with the most powerful words of all. I am. Chapter 4. Clarity as Coordinates. There is a secret the ancients whispered in caves, temples, and hidden groves. The universe is exacting. It is neither vague nor careless. It answers with precision, but only when you ask with precision. Too often, people throw hazy wishes into the night sky, like smoke, and then despair when the smoke dissipates. They pray for more, but what is more? More money, more stress, more distractions. They wish for love, but what form, what essence, what quality of connection? Without clarity, the lattice receives a scrambled signal, and like a map with blurred coordinates, you wander in circles. The manifestation matrix cannot deliver what you have not defined. Clarity is not merely detail, it is alignment. To be clear is not to list 1,000 petty specifics, but to define essence with unwavering honesty. Imagine standing in a forest with countless paths before you. Without clarity, every trail looks the same and you walk endlessly, never arriving. But when you know the coordinates, north, east, the path marked by the oak, you step forward with certainty and the forest opens. The process begins by stripping away the noise of shoulds. Many think they want wealth because society praises it, or relationships because loneliness whispers, but what they truly crave is freedom or belonging or peace. These deeper desires are the real coordinates. To uncover them, sit in silence and ask, what do I want this for? Continue asking until you reach a truth that no longer hides behind another. The glitter fades. The essence remains. That essence becomes your coordinate. Consider a woman named Eleanor who longed for a new home. For months, she repeated, I want a bigger house, yet nothing shifted. When pressed to ask why, she admitted, because I want to feel safe. The lattice had been confused, offering scattered opportunities that never stuck. But when she focused on safety, the true coordinate, she began to see signs, people, and solutions aligned with protection and stability. Within months, she found a smaller cottage in a gated community, perfect for her heart's need. The clarity of essence activated the matrix in ways detail never could. The second layer of clarity is emotional signature. The lattice responds most powerfully to feeling, not empty statements. Imagine telling the universe, "I want success." What does that feel like? Is it pride, freedom, joy, or expansion? Unless you can feel the coordinates in your body, you have not truly set them. This is why visualization is potent. It trains your nervous system to embody the destination. Every sensation becomes part of the coordinate, mapping your desire into the lattice. Practice this tonight. Then choose one desire and ask, what is the essence? What is the feeling? Then build a scene around it. If your essence is freedom, see yourself walking barefoot on a beach, feeling time expand, hearing laughter on the wind. Let the sensory detail wrap your intention in unmistakable clarity. The matrix does not guess. It mirrors. The third layer of clarity is standard. Too many settle for fragments, hoping the matrix will fill in the rest. But a vague standard leads to half-formed outcomes. If you declare love but tolerate dishonesty, the matrix mirrors dishonesty. If you declare abundance but accept constant scarcity conversations, the matrix reflects scarcity. Your standard is your boundary, the invisible line that says, "Nothing beneath this enters my field." Set it cleanly, hold it firmly, and reality arranges itself accordingly. History brims with examples. Inventors who refused compromise on vision, saints who demanded integrity of their disciples, healers who set the standard of absolute belief in wellness, each aligned with clarity so fierce that the lattice had no choice but to deliver. Their coordinates were unshakable, and thus their destinies were precise. Clarity is your compass. Without it, every breeze feels like fate. Every delay feels like doom. With it, even obstacles become stepping stones, guiding you closer. Begin today. Refine one desire. Strip it of shoulds. Define its essence. Embody its feeling and set its standard. Once you do, you will feel a shift, a certainty humming in your chest, a calm that knows. The manifestation matrix has received your coordinates. Now walk forward, knowing it already begins to rearrange itself to meet you exactly where you declared you would be. Chapter 5. Emotional Alchemy. Emotions are the hidden currency of the matrix. Thoughts sketch the blueprint, but feelings provide the electricity. A desire spoken without emotion is like a lamp unplugged. No matter how beautiful, it will not shine. Yet the same desire, infused with genuine feeling, blazes through the lattice like lightning, bending reality to its glow. For this reason, ancient sages taught not the suppression of emotion, but the transmutation of it. They knew that anger, grief, fear, and shame are not enemies, but unrefined ores waiting to be smelted into gold. Alchemy is the art of transformation. Just as lead becomes radiant metal through fire, so can your heaviest emotions fuel your most luminous manifestations. The mistake most make is resisting their feelings. They label sadness as weakness, anger as shameful, fear as failure. But in resistance, energy becomes blocked. The matrix receives only static. When you learn to hold emotion, to feel it fully without judgment, you unlock a power far greater than endless positivity. Consider rage. Many fear it, suppress it, or unleash it destructively. Yet rage at its core is raw energy demanding justice, truth, or movement. When acknowledged and channeled, rage becomes determination, courage, and boundary. A man named Simon discovered this when his repeated attempts at wealth failed. Beneath his polite affirmations lived buried fury at years of mistreatment. Once he allowed himself to sit with this anger, breathe it, honor it, he found the fire to demand better pay, negotiate with clarity, and build a business with integrity. The anger had not been his enemy. It was fuel awaiting recognition. The same is true of grief. Grief is love with nowhere to go. When ignored, it suffocates. When held gently, it becomes compassion, depth, and the tenderness that heals others. A teacher named Miriam, after losing her son, felt broken, yet in sleep she whispered, "Transform my grief." Slowly, her pain became the foundation of a center for parents in mourning. What once seemed endless sorrow became her greatest contribution. The process of emotional alchemy requires 3 steps: presence, acceptance, and transmutation. Presence means you stop fleeing. Sit with the emotion. Feel its weight in your body. Is it a knot in the stomach, a tremor in the chest, a heaviness in the limbs? Stay, name it. Acceptance is the second step. Instead of fighting, whisper, "You are allowed." In this moment, the resistance dissolves. Energy that was blocked begins to flow. The third step is transmutation. Ask, what is the message within you? What gift are you holding? Fear might reveal caution that sharpens intuition. Sadness might reveal values neglected. Anger might reveal boundaries ignored. Once revealed, transform the raw into refined. This can be done through imagery. Imagine anger as red fire cooling into golden warmth, grief as dark water turning clear, fear as tremors stabilizing into steady ground. The subconscious responds to such imagery, and the matrix translates the shift. Do this consistently, and you discover a secret. You need not fear any emotion. Each one is fuel waiting for refinement. When you transmute your inner state, you alter your frequency, and the lattice reflects a new reality. What once seemed like sabotage becomes empowerment. What once drowned you now lifts you. Ancient alchemists did not literally turn lead into gold. They practiced the inner transmutation mirrored by that metaphor, and so must you. Every emotion is sacred material, chosen by your soul as part of your path. Do not discard them, refine them. For when you master emotional alchemy, no storm within can derail you. You hold the philosopher's stone, and with it, you can turn the rawest pain into radiant power that manifests a life aligned with your highest essence. Chapter 6. The Body Antenna. Your mind speaks, your emotions sing, but your body broadcasts. It is the antenna through which the manifestation matrix receives and transmits your reality. Every posture, breath, and rhythm carries a frequency that the lattice mirrors without hesitation. To work only with thought and feeling while neglecting the body is to attempt manifestation with a muted transmitter. But when your body aligns with your desire, the signal becomes undeniable, resonant, and magnetic. Think of a tuning fork. Strike it, and the vibration carries clearly, filling the air with steady tone. Your body functions the same way. Each gesture, each stance, each pattern of breath either clarifies your frequency or distorts it. Slouched shoulders broadcast defeat. Shallow breath broadcasts fear. A tense jaw broadcasts resistance. And so the matrix mirrors them. Blocked opportunities, constant struggle, doors closed. But stand tall, breathe deeply, move with calm rhythm, and you radiate a frequency of confidence and readiness. The lattice listens. It reflects this readiness with circumstances that meet you in kind. This is not mystical, it is mechanical. Your nervous system creates electromagnetic fields, subtle but measurable. Those fields are influenced by posture, breath, and movement. The ancient yogis, martial artists, and dancers knew this and designed practices to align the body with the currents of creation. Begin with posture. Each morning, as you rise, stand as though you already inhabit the life you desire. Shoulders open, heart lifted, crown of the head reaching upward. This is not vanity, but alignment. A woman named Clara, plagued by years of scarcity, discovered that simply walking each day with an open chest and steady gaze shifted her energy profoundly. Within weeks, she reported strangers offering help, business partners arriving, doors opening. She had become an antenna for abundance. Next is breath. Shallow, erratic breathing tells the matrix you are unsafe, unready. Deep, rhythmic breath tells it you are steady, receptive. Practice inhaling fully, expanding the belly, and exhaling slowly, like waves upon a shore. Before any visualization or affirmation, regulate your breath. The clean current of oxygen steadies your nervous system, ensuring your broadcast is coherent. Rhythm completes the triad. The way you move through time broadcasts as surely as your words. Rush and scramble, and you signal desperation. Flow with deliberate pacing, and you signal trust. Begin noticing the cadence of your day. Can you walk slower, eat slower, speak slower, not from laziness, but from presence? The matrix reads this as certainty. One who trusts does not hurry. Stories confirm the truth. A man named Elias, desperate for love, carried tension in every muscle. When he walked into rooms, women felt his anxiety before he spoke. Guided by an elder, he practiced daily relaxation, learning to soften his shoulders, breathe deeply, and smile gently. Within months, love entered his life naturally, not because he changed words, but because he changed frequency. His body broadcast safety and joy, and the lattice mirrored it back as companionship. Your practice is simple yet profound. Each day, align posture, breath, and rhythm. Stand as though worthy, breathe as though safe, move as though trusting. Do this consistently, and your body becomes a beacon. Opportunities, people, and experiences will feel drawn to you without struggle. The body is not a cage, but a temple. Treat it as such, and it becomes your clearest transmitter. When mind, emotion, and body align, your signal through the matrix is unstoppable. You are no longer whispering desires into static. You are broadcasting them through a golden antenna that resonates across the lattice, calling forth the reality you were always meant to live. Chapter 7. The Sleep Gate. Night is not absence, but access. Each evening, when the conscious mind surrenders and the body drifts into rest, a hidden door creaks open, the sleep gate. Here, between waking thought and dreaming silence, your subconscious becomes exquisitely sensitive, as if soil loosened before planting. This is why the ancients treated bedtime not as collapse, but as ceremony. They knew the last words whispered before sleep echo through the corridors of the subconscious, shaping dreams and sculpting tomorrow. The sleep gate is where the manifestation matrix listens most intently. During the day, your signal is often muffled by doubt, busyness, and distraction. But in the twilight of slumber, resistance thins. Your thoughts slip past the guards of logic and sink directly into fertile ground. This is why nightmares haunt us. They are proof that the subconscious takes images as reality. If a frightening picture can disturb your night, a deliberate vision can seed your destiny. Consider a baker named Jonas who struggled to attract customers. Each night he went to bed muttering, "I hope tomorrow is better." The matrix, precise as ever, mirrored his vagueness. Some days a bit better, most days unchanged. When he learned of the sleep gate, he shifted. Before bed, he closed his eyes and imagined customers lined outside his bakery, laughter filling the room, bread selling out by noon. He fell asleep, smiling at the scene. Within weeks, reality bent toward his rehearsals. The sleep gate had carried his signal clearly. To work with this portal, ritual matters. Begin by slowing the body, breathing deeply, relaxing limbs, softening the jaw. This tells the subconscious we are safe. Next, speak gratitude, 3 specific thanks from your day. Gratitude raises your frequency, ensuring the signal you transmit is one of sufficiency, not lack. Then, with calm intensity, declare 3 intentions as though they are already real. Not I want, but I am. Not I hope, but I have. Let these statements vibrate through you like bells struck in a quiet hall. Imagery strengthens the ritual. Build a scene around your intention with sensory richness. If you seek love, imagine holding hands at sunset, feeling warmth in your chest, hearing laughter echo. If you seek abundance, see the numbers in your account. Feel the security in your body. Taste the celebration meal. Engage as many senses as possible. The subconscious responds most strongly to vivid, embodied pictures. Release is the final step. After setting your scene, surrender it. Do not clutch. Do not plead. Trust the lattice to weave the pattern while you sleep. Whisper, "It is done," and drift away. This act of surrender is crucial, for clinging signals doubt, and doubt blurs the broadcast. Across cultures, bedtime rituals have always encoded this wisdom. Egyptian initiates whispered affirmations into golden amulets before sleep. Native tribes told dream stories to children as seeds for their subconscious. Monks ended evening prayers not with petition, but with thanksgiving, trusting that what was asked had already arrived. Each practice honored the sleep gate. You too can claim this portal. Tonight, before sleep, craft your ritual. Create a sacred moment of stillness. Speak gratitude, declare intention, visualize vividly, and release. Then allow slumber to carry your signal into the deepest halls of the matrix. Know that in the quiet dark, your subconscious is sculpting tomorrow, line by line, with the words you whispered at the threshold. The sleep gate is not an escape, but a return. Each night you return to the workshop where worlds are made. Enter with reverence, and you will awaken to mornings where life already leans toward your whispered dreams. Chapter 8. Morning Spin-Up. If night is the planting, morning is the sprouting. What you do upon waking determines whether the seeds sown at the sleep gate take root or wither beneath distraction. The first minutes after waking are precious beyond measure. In this fragile window, your subconscious remains pliable, still humming with the frequencies absorbed through the night. To squander it with worry, scrolling, or rushing is to trample tender shoots. But to guard it is to spin momentum into a day already bent toward your desire. The ancients understood mornings as thresholds. Sun salutations were not stretches, but alignments with dawn's rhythm. Ritual baths washed away the residue of dreams, preparing the vessel for new creation. Priests greeted the sun not to worship it, but to harmonize their inner light with its rising. These practices were not superstition, they were mastery of the morning spin-up. Your task is to create a morning sequence that stabilizes and amplifies the intentions planted at night. It need not be long. In truth, 7 deliberate minutes are more potent than hours of scattered ritual. Begin with stillness. As you open your eyes, resist the urge to leap into thought. Place a hand on your heart. Breathe deeply and recall the intention set before sleep. Whisper it softly. I am abundant. I am loved. I am safe. This bridges night's programming with day's momentum. Next, move the body. Not frantic exercise, but deliberate awakening. Stretch the spine, roll the shoulders, shake out the limbs. Movement tells the body, we are alive, we are ready. It broadcasts vitality into the lattice, signaling readiness to receive. Pair movement with breath. Inhale possibility, exhale doubt. Let each breath feel like pumping energy into your field. Then gratitude once more. Choose 3 blessings to honor before your feet touch the floor. Gratitude in the morning doubles the charge from gratitude at night. It tells the matrix, this one notices, this one honors, and what is honored multiplies. Visualization comes next. Close your eyes briefly and replay your desired scene. But this time, imagine living it today. See yourself walking into the opportunity, receiving the call, shaking the hand, smiling with joy. Anchor the feeling. carry it into your cells. Even 2 minutes of this rehearsal infuses the day with direction. Finally, speak aloud a declaration. Words vibrate, sound cuts through static. Choose a simple phrase and let it resonate through your chest. I walk in abundance. I radiate love. I am guided. Speak it until you feel it click. Then rise, not into haste, but into intention. A merchant named Paulo once stumbled upon this practice after years of chaos. His mornings were frantic, emails rushing, coffee gulped, half cold. His days mirrored this chaos, scattered, unfruitful, exhausting. When he began his 7-minute spin-up, breathing, gratitude, visualization, declaration, his days transformed. Clients arrived effortlessly, decisions came with clarity, and fatigue lifted. He had not changed his work, only his mornings. But mornings are the rudder of the day, and when they shift, the entire voyage alters course. The beauty of morning spin-up is its compounding effect. Each day builds upon the last. Like compound interest, momentum grows quietly until it seems miraculous. What begins as a whisper becomes a roar, life rushing forward in alignment with your rehearsed reality. Guard your mornings fiercely. Treat them as sacred as temple floors. Do not give them away to noise. Rise into them with reverence, with gratitude, with clarity. Spin them up and watch how swiftly the matrix bends the day to match the signal you set at dawn. Chapter 9. The Script That Sticks. Words are spells. They etch grooves in the subconscious and ripple across the lattice. But not all words linger. Some slide away like chalk in rain, leaving no mark. Others embed so deeply, they alter the entire shape of a life. The difference lies in construction. A script that sticks does not flatter, it reprograms. It does not merely describe, it directs. Every story you tell yourself is a script. Some are ancient, inherited from family. We are unlucky. We must struggle. Success is for others. Others are whispered by society. You must prove your worth. Love must be earned. These scripts stick because they are repeated, embodied, and left unchallenged. The subconscious takes repetition as truth, and the lattice obliges. To shift your reality, you must write new scripts and write them in a way that sticks. Begin with tense. The subconscious responds only to the present. Say, I will be, and it waits, always postponing. Say, I am, and it accepts, no matter what the outer world shows. A woman named Fiona dreamed of health, but kept affirming, I will be well. The matrix, faithful, kept her in waiting. When she shifted to, I am healing now, my body restores itself, her recovery accelerated. The script stuck because it spoke in the language of now. Emotion is the second ingredient. Words without feeling are brittle. Pair your declarations with sensation. Do not merely say, I am abundant. Feel the warmth of money in your hand, the sigh of relief as bills are paid, the joy of generosity. Let the script vibrate with lived experience. The subconscious does not distinguish between imagined and real emotion. Both leave equal imprints. Repetition seals the script. Just as grooves deepen when traced again and again, your subconscious engraves words through rhythm. Morning and night, whisper your script aloud. Write it, record it, hear it. The more channels you use, voice, sight, sound, the deeper it roots. But beware of empty verbosity. A script that sticks must be concise. Long paragraphs confuse. Short phrases strike like arrows. I am chosen. I am safe. I am radiant. These pierce the subconscious and echo in silence. A man named Julian tested this with his failing business. His old script whispered by, nothing ever works out. He replaced it with a simple declaration, opportunities flow to me daily. He wrote it on slips of paper, placed them in his wallet, mirror, and car. He whispered it before bed and upon waking. Within weeks, chance meetings led to contracts. Ideas turned to income. and his despair lifted. The script stuck because it was present, emotional, concise, and repeated. Craft your own tonight. Choose one area of life: wealth, love, health. Write a phrase in present tense. Infuse it with feeling. Keep it short. Repeat it daily. Pair it with imagery and breath. Do this long enough, and the old scripts dissolve, replaced by new grooves. The subconscious accepts. The lattice mirrors. Reality bends. Your life is scripted, whether consciously or not. You are not bound to the words given to you. You are the writer, the speaker, the scribe of your fate. Craft with care. Repeat with devotion. Speak with feeling, and watch as your script, sticky with truth, rewrites the very fabric of your days. Chapter 10. The Pictures That Pull. Your mind does not think in words alone. It dreams in pictures, it remembers in images, and it builds reality from visions. The manifestation matrix, too, responds most clearly to imagery. A thought is like a seed, but an image is a blooming tree, complete with branches, leaves, scent, and shade. Words can describe a desire, but pictures magnetize it. What you see with clarity in your inner world pulls itself into your outer world. This is why people who visualize succeed with uncanny precision. Athletes see themselves crossing finish lines before their feet touch the track. Musicians hear and feel the applause before they step on stage. Leaders envision outcomes long before the meeting begins. These are not fantasies, they are rehearsals impressed into the subconscious and broadcast through the lattice. The universe cannot resist what has already been pictured so vividly that it feels undeniable. The mistake most make is treating visualization as casual daydreaming. They sit with vague hopes. I want more money. I want a better life. And wonder why nothing shifts. But the subconscious craves specificity. It asks, what scene, what feeling, what detail? Vague pictures do not pull. Vivid ones do. Imagine ordering from a restaurant menu without naming the dish. You would be served nothing or something you didn't want. The matrix works the same. To craft pictures that pull, you must use all senses. Sight alone is not enough. If your desire is abundance, do not only see the bank account number, hear the pen scratch as you sign the check. Feel the crispness of the bills or the security of the card in your palm. Smell the aroma of your celebratory meal. Taste the sweetness of wine after a deal closed. Sensory immersion convinces the subconscious it is real now, not someday. And the matrix, always faithful, mirrors what the subconscious accepts. Stories abound of the power of such pictures. A man named Caleb was terrified of public speaking, yet he longed to share his ideas. Guided by a mentor, he began nightly visualizations. He did not merely see himself on stage. He pictured the weight of the microphone, the warmth of the lights, the sound of applause swelling. He practiced in his mind until his body felt calm at the thought. Within months, he was not only speaking but thriving. His imagined scenes now lived ones. Another, a woman named Celine, yearned for love. Instead of vague wishing, she created vivid nightly images of partnership. She saw dinners shared, laughter in the kitchen, morning walks with hands intertwined. She felt the warmth of companionship, the joy of being chosen. Soon, opportunities arose, and she recognized her partner instantly because she had already seen him in her mind's eye. To begin, set aside 10 minutes daily. Choose one desire, close your eyes, and step inside a scene where it is already fulfilled. Do not watch from afar. Live it as first person. Engage all senses. Anchor the feeling. Repeat this scene consistently until it feels familiar. Familiarity is key. The subconscious only accepts what it has rehearsed. When a scene feels like memory, the matrix aligns swiftly to mirror it. Be patient. At first, your mind may resist, whispering, "This isn't real." That is noise. Persist, and the pictures grow sticky, clinging to your nervous system until your body reacts as though it is truth. Then the outer world, obedient mirror, bends accordingly. Pictures that pull are not fantasy. They are rehearsal. They are creation. Every outcome you long for already exists in the field of potential. Visualization is simply stepping into that version early, embodying it until reality has no choice but to follow. Begin today, craft pictures that pull, and watch how life rearranges to meet the vision you dared to see. Chapter 11. Micro-action, macro-effect. The matrix bends most powerfully when thought, feeling, and action align. You may dream vividly, affirm faithfully, and visualize clearly, but without embodied action, the signal remains incomplete. Yet here lies a secret. Action need not be enormous. The universe does not demand grand gestures. It responds exquisitely to small, consistent movements. Micro-actions are the hinge upon which macro results swing. Consider water dripping onto stone. Each drop seems insignificant, yet over time, the stone hollows. So too with manifestation. A single call made, a page written, a conversation begun. These acts appear minor, but they anchor your broadcast. They tell the matrix, I am not only dreaming, I am preparing. And preparation magnetizes fulfillment. The mistake many make is waiting. They declare desires but sit idle until conditions are perfect. But perfection never comes, and the broadcast grows faint. Action, however small, declares readiness. Readiness is magnetic. The matrix responds to it as faithfully as gravity responds to falling. A tailor named Hugo once longed to expand his shop. Yet for years he waited for investors, for permission, for luck. Nothing came. Then, tired of stagnation, he began micro-actions. He reorganized his shop window. He updated his sign. He introduced himself to strangers with renewed pride. These were small gestures, but they shifted his frequency. Soon, investors appeared, customers multiplied, and his dream flourished. The matrix had been waiting for his movement. Micro-actions also quiet doubt. The mind can argue with words, but it cannot argue with evidence. Each small step builds proof. I am becoming. I am moving. And proof breeds confidence. Confidence broadcasts clarity. Clarity summons results. To begin, identify one action you can take daily, however small, that embodies your desire. If you seek wealth, begin a savings ritual, even with coins. If you seek health, stretch for 5 minutes each morning. If you seek love, write a note of appreciation to yourself or another. Each act is a signal. I am aligning. Do not despise the smallness. The matrix does not measure size. It measures resonance. A simple daily act, performed with conviction, carries more power than sporadic leaps fueled by desperation. Like compound interest, micro-actions accumulate silently until suddenly life erupts with change that feels miraculous but was merely inevitable. A woman named Rosa practiced this faithfully. She dreamed of becoming an author, but instead of despairing over the enormity of a book, she committed to writing 1 page daily. 1 page. Some nights she scribbled tired lines. Other nights she found flow. Within a year, her manuscript was complete. Within 2, it was published. The matrix had not handed her a book. It had amplified her micro-action into macro-effect. Your task is simple. Stop waiting for the mountain. Begin with the pebble. Move it daily. Broadcast your readiness through action, no matter how small. The lattice listens less to your promises and more to your movements. Let your micro-actions declare who you are becoming, and watch the universe respond with opportunities far larger than the effort you began with. Small steps ripple across infinite strands. Each gesture reshapes tomorrow. Begin now. Chapter 12. Removing Hidden Vows. Deep within your subconscious lie contracts you never remember signing. Silent promises made in childhood, whispered vows inherited from family, unconscious agreements sealed by pain. These vows run like background programs, dictating your limits, sabotaging your efforts, and shaping the frequency you broadcast. The manifestation matrix obeys them faithfully, even when they no longer serve you. Until you uncover and release these vows, your signal remains divided. A hidden vow might sound like, I must struggle to be worthy. I must never surpass my parents. I will never risk love again. These are not conscious choices. They are scars disguised as truths. And because they run in silence, they manifest as repeating patterns, constant scarcity, sabotaged relationships, inexplicable resistance. You may affirm abundance endlessly, but if a vow whispers, we are not allowed more than enough, the matrix will mirror lack. The first step is recognition. Begin noticing patterns in your life. Where do you always hit the same wall? Scarcity despite effort, abandonment despite care, failure despite preparation. Behind every recurring block lies a vow. Ask gently, what promise did I make that keeps me here? Listen for the whisper. It may come as a memory, a phrase, an image. Trust it. Once recognized, the second step is compassion. These vows were once attempts to keep you safe. A child promises, I will never shine too brightly, because attention once brought pain. An adult vows, I will never risk, because heartbreak once shattered them. These vows are not enemies but protectors, outdated now, yet born of love. Thank them, honor their intention before you release them. The third step is rewriting. Speak aloud. I release the vow that no longer serves me, Mom. I choose freedom. Then declare a new vow aligned with your desire. Replace I must struggle with I am allowed ease, Shaz. Replace I must stay small with I am safe to expand. The matrix responds swiftly to such clean declarations, for vows carry great weight. Ritual strengthens the process. Write your old vow on paper. Burn it, bury it, or tear it, symbolizing release. Then write the new vow. Place it beneath your pillow or on your mirror where it whispers daily. Each repetition dissolves the old groove and engraves the new. Stories illuminate this truth. A man named Victor struggled endlessly with money. No matter how much he earned, it slipped away. In meditation, he uncovered an old vow. I will never be like my greedy father. His subconscious equated wealth with betrayal, so it repelled it. Once he released this vow and replaced it with, I create wealth with integrity, his finances stabilized. The matrix had been waiting for his permission. Another, a woman named Lila, longed for love, but always attracted partners who left. In reflection, she uncovered a vow. I will never let anyone close enough to hurt me again. This vow had built a wall around her heart. Releasing it and declaring, I am safe to be loved deeply, transformed her relationships within months. You too hold vows. Some you spoke, others you absorbed. None are final. Begin tonight. Ask where your life feels stuck. Listen for the vow beneath. Honor it. Release it. Replace it. Let the matrix hear your new agreement. Once you do, energy that was trapped in old promises flows freely into your desires. The lattice does not resist you. It simply mirrors the contracts you carry. Tear up the ones that no longer serve. Write new ones that honor your freedom. When you do, the manifestation matrix responds instantly, rearranging reality to reflect your renewed permission to receive. Hidden vows dissolve, new pathways open, and you walk forward lighter, free to create without invisible chains pulling you back. Chapter 13, Symbols and Sigils. There are languages that speak without words, alphabets written in shapes, patterns, and marks that carry frequencies deeper than speech can reach. Since the dawn of humanity, people have carved, drawn, painted, and inscribed symbols, not merely for decoration, but to bridge inner intention with outer manifestation. A circle scratched into sand to honor the sun, a spiral painted on cave walls to mark the eternal journey. a rune etched onto stone to call forth protection. These were not idle doodles, they were portals. The manifestation matrix listens keenly to symbols. Unlike cluttered sentences or hesitant affirmations, a symbol compresses meaning into a single striking form. The subconscious drinks symbols as water, absorbing them without resistance, and the lattice mirrors them with astonishing speed. Consider the difference between saying, "I want protection," and carrying a carved talisman shaped as a shield. One is request, the other is declaration. The subconscious, fluent in image, treats the shield as reality already present. This is the secret of symbols. They bypass skepticism and land directly in the fertile soil of belief. A woman named Estella once struggled to stabilize her finances. No matter how much she worked, money slipped through her fingers. Guided by a mentor, she drew a simple symbol, a circle around 3 upward lines, each representing flow, security, and growth. She placed it above her desk, on her wallet, and by her bedside. Each time she saw it, her subconscious rehearsed abundance. Within months, unexpected opportunities and steady income replaced her former chaos. The lines she had drawn were not magic in themselves. They were the doorway through which her subconscious aligned with the matrix. Symbols need not be inherited from ancient alphabets. The most powerful sigils are personal. They are crafted from your desires, charged with your energy, and planted where you will see them often. The creation process itself imprints your intention. Begin by writing your desire in a sentence. I am safe and free. Remove repeating letters until you are left with a cluster of unique characters. Rearrange these into a design, abstract but resonant. Simplify until it feels both strange and familiar, a shape that holds meaning even if only you know it. That shape is your sigil. Next, charge it. This means infusing it with energy. You may stare at it in meditation until your body hums. You may dance, breathe, chant, or imagine golden light flooding into it. Then place it where it will speak silently. Beneath your pillow, etched on a paper, tucked in your wallet, drawn in the steam of your bathroom mirror. Every time your eyes touch it, your subconscious remembers, and the matrix responds. A merchant named Anton practiced this with remarkable results. He desired partnership in his business but faced constant betrayals. He crafted a sigil using letters from the phrase, "trustworthy allies." The shape resembled 2 interlocked triangles. He drew it on his desk, carried it in his pocket, and even traced it in the air before meetings. Within months, he encountered a partner who proved not only skilled, but loyal. The sigil had tuned his subconscious to expect trust, and the matrix, ever faithful, mirrored it. Symbols also protect against interference. Your subconscious may hold conflicting beliefs, or the outside world may bombard you with doubts. A sigil, seen daily, anchors your signal amidst the noise. It becomes a tuning fork, striking the same clear note again and again until reality vibrates in resonance. Do not underestimate the simplicity of this practice. The subconscious does not care for complexity. It craves repetition. A symbol seen 100 times silently imprints more deeply than an affirmation spoken once with doubt. The matrix, in turn, responds not to how loudly you beg, but how clearly you broadcast. Symbols create clarity. Begin tonight. Write one desire. Craft a sigil. Charge it with feeling. Place it where you will see it daily. Watch as the shape, meaningless to others but alive to you, begins pulling experiences, people, and opportunities into your field. The ancients were right. The world is written in symbols. Now you are learning to write your own. Chapter 14. Gratitude as Gain. If desire is the seed, gratitude is the sunlight. Nothing grows without it. The manifestation matrix amplifies what is already honored, multiplies what is already appreciated, and bends reality toward those who recognize abundance even in its smallest forms. Gratitude is not polite manners. It is magnetic force. When you feel it deeply, not as a hollow recitation but as a living current, you align with the frequency of having rather than wanting. The matrix mirrors this frequency faithfully, drawing more reasons to feel thankful into your life. Too many mistake gratitude as a list to check off. They scribble hurriedly, "I am grateful for food, home, health." The words pass, but the feeling never arrives. The matrix does not respond to hollow phrases. It responds to vibration. Real gratitude is embodied. It warms the chest, softens the eyes, makes breath fuller. It is not thought, but experience. Only when you feel it in your body do you broadcast its signal. A man named Samuel proved this truth. He struggled with debt and despair. A friend urged him to practice gratitude. At first he resisted. What did he have to be thankful for? Yet one night as he drank tea, he focused on its warmth, its aroma, the miracle of leaves grown across oceans reaching his cup. Something softened. Tears welled. For the first time in years, he felt genuine appreciation. He repeated this daily, choosing one small thing to savor. Within months, his circumstances shifted. A new job offer, supportive friends, unexpected financial relief. Gratitude had opened his frequency, and the matrix delivered more to match it. Science, too, confirms what sages always knew. Gratitude activates brain centers linked with reward, calming stress and boosting optimism. But beneath science lies a deeper truth. Gratitude changes what you broadcast, and the matrix, precise as geometry, mirrors your dominant broadcast. How, then, do you practice gratitude as gain? Begin with slowness. At night, recall 3 specific moments from the day, not generalities, but details. The smile from a stranger, the softness of your blanket, the breath that carried you through stress. Speak them aloud or write them, but linger until you feel them. Let your body respond. In the morning, repeat the practice. Before rising, whisper thanks for the bed that carried you, the lungs filling with air, the chance at another day. These bookends of gratitude saturate your subconscious, ensuring your signal remains in the frequency of having. Another layer is future gratitude, giving thanks as though your desires are already real. A woman named Clarice practiced this with devotion. She longed for a child. Each night she whispered, "Thank you for the joy of motherhood. Thank you for the love filling my home." At first her arms were empty, yet her heart swelled with gratitude, as if her wish had already been fulfilled. Within a year, her desire manifested. Her gratitude had broadcast, "I already have," and the matrix mirrored it with reality. The key is sincerity. Do not rush. Do not fake. Choose what you can truly appreciate, even if it is small. Small gratitude multiplies into greater blessings. The matrix does not distinguish between grand and simple. It multiplies whatever is honored. Gratitude also protects against scarcity. Fear whispers, "There is not enough." Gratitude replies, "There is already plenty." In that shift, scarcity loses power, and once scarcity loses its grip, abundance flows freely. Practice this tonight. Feel one thing deeply. Whisper thanks until warmth rises in your chest. Fall asleep in that state. In the morning, repeat. Within weeks, you will notice life offering more, as though eager to be thanked. This is not illusion. It is law. Gratitude multiplies itself, and those who master it never run dry. Chapter 15. Timing and Tide. The sea does not rage constantly. It rises, it falls, it ebbs, it flows. So too does life, governed by cycles and tides as ancient as the moon and as subtle as your own heartbeat. To manifest without awareness of timing is to plant seeds in winter and curse the soil for barrenness. But those who learn to work with the natural tides discover effortless amplification. The manifestation matrix bends more easily when you align with rhythm. Ancient cultures honored timing, Farmers planted by lunar cycles, healers worked during equinoxes, mystics prayed at dawn and dusk. They knew that energy waxes and wanes. The modern world, obsessed with constant doing, has forgotten this wisdom. But the matrix remembers. It listens not only to your desires, but to when you release them. Timing is not superstition, it is resonance. Consider the moon. During new moons, the subconscious is most receptive. It is the perfect time to set intentions, to whisper seeds into the darkness. During waxing moons, energy builds. This is the time for action, for nurturing. At the full moon, amplification peaks. Visualizations and celebrations radiate power. During waning moons, release flows easily. Time to let go of what no longer serves. Aligning desires with this rhythm harmonizes your signal with cosmic cycles. A merchant named Elias tested this. He began setting financial goals during new moons, visualizing abundance as seeds planted. As the moon waxed, he acted, networking, seeking opportunities. At the full moon, he celebrated progress, giving thanks. During waning, he released debts and fears. His results accelerated, as though the universe carried him on invisible tides. He had not forced, he had aligned. Timing also applies to personal cycles. Notice when you feel most creative, most restful, most social, most introspective. Track your rhythms. For some, morning bursts with clarity. For others, night holds power. Align your rituals with your natural tides. Do not fight them. To force when energy is low is to row against current. To act when energy is high is to sail with wind. The seasons, too, matter. Spring invites beginnings. Summer amplifies growth. Autumn calls for harvest and reflection. Winter whispers rest and vision. Work with these, and the matrix amplifies your signal. Ignore them, and you find resistance. A woman named Sophia practiced this faithfully. She aligned her projects with seasons. She dreamed and planned in winter, launched in spring, expanded in summer, and reflected in autumn. Her business grew steadily, with less effort than before. She was no longer thrashing against current. She was dancing with tide. You can begin simply. Tonight, look at the moon. Ask what cycle it carries. Align one action accordingly. If it is new, set an intention. If waxing, take a step. If full, celebrate. If waning, release. Do this consistently and you will feel the invisible current carrying you. Timing is not about waiting passively. It is about awareness. You still act, but you act in rhythm, not against it. The matrix listens to rhythm as closely as it listens to clarity. Learn the tides, honor the cycles, align your broadcast with them. Then, like a surfer catching a wave, you will find yourself carried farther with less effort, arriving not exhausted, but exhilarated. The sea of the universe is vast and rhythmic. The manifestation matrix is its tide, and you, aligned with timing, will always be brought to shore. Chapter 16. Money as Music. There is a rhythm to wealth, a cadence to prosperity, a music playing just beneath the noise of daily transactions. Most treat money as numbers, cold and rigid, stacked in ledgers and screens. But those who prosper know the truth. Money is not arithmetic. It is resonance. It hums like a note, it dances like melody, and your relationship with it determines whether you hear dissonance or harmony. The manifestation matrix listens not to what you demand of money, but to how you vibrate when you think of it. If you think of money with fear, the matrix mirrors fear, bills that overwhelm, losses that multiply. If you think of money with guilt, it mirrors guilt, opportunities rejected, wealth sabotaged. If you think of money with reverence and flow, it mirrors reverence and flow. Steady streams, new avenues, unexpected abundance. To master wealth is to treat it not as enemy or master, but as music. Consider a violin. In careless hands, it screeches. In skilled hands, it sings. The violin itself has no will. It responds to the one who plays it. So it is with money. It does not arrive to punish or reward. It responds to the frequency you play. A shopkeeper named Julian once struggled for years. Convinced that money was cruel, he saw it vanish as quickly as it came, leaving him bitter. Then, through study, he shifted. He began to think of money as partnership, as melody. Each day he whispered, "I welcome the song of prosperity." He began to tithe small amounts, not out of fear but joy, treating each coin as a note of gratitude. Within a year his business turned. Wealth flowed not because money changed, but because he learned to play it. You too can tune yourself to the music of money. Begin by examining your body when you think of it. Do your shoulders tense? Does your chest constrict? Do you feel shame? These are notes out of tune. Breathe into them, release them, replace them with softer vibrations. Appreciation for what money has already provided. Excitement for what it will continue to allow. Next, align action with harmony. Keep your environment clean. Order in your wallet, desk, or accounts signals readiness. Imagine an orchestra refusing to tune. Chaos would follow. The same is true with your finances. Small acts of respect toward money amplify its willingness to return. Finally, pair intention with ritual. Play gentle music while you review your finances, signaling joy rather than fear. Write affirmations of sufficiency and keep them near where you handle money. Treat every payment not as loss, but as participation in the great song of circulation. Whisper thanks as you give, knowing it will return multiplied, just as echoes expand in a canyon. A woman named Nadia practiced this with precision. She once dreaded paying bills, treating each envelope as an insult. Guided into new perspective, she began saying, "Thank you for water, for light, for shelter," each time she paid. Soon the dread lifted, replaced by flow. Unexpected income arrived. Clients sought her. She had joined the music rather than fighting it. Money, like music, thrives in circulation. Hoarded, it stagnates. Squandered, it scatters. But circulated with care, it multiplies. Every choice you make, how you spend, save, share, strikes a chord. The matrix echoes those chords faithfully. Choose discord, live discord. Choose harmony, live harmony. The music of money is always playing. The question is, will you hear screeches or symphony? Tune yourself. Treat it as friend, as partner, as instrument. Play with joy, with gratitude, with flow. Do this and wealth ceases to be struggle. It becomes song, one the universe cannot help but repeat in chorus. Chapter 17, Love's Frequency. If money is music, love is the vibration that underlies all of existence. Every cell hums with it. Every star pulses with it. The manifestation matrix itself is woven of it. Yet for many, love is sought desperately outside, while within they broadcast only longing, fear, or unworthiness. The matrix, obedient as ever, mirrors that broadcast. Lovers who abandon, relationships that falter, connections that wound. To manifest love that nourishes, you must first embody love's frequency. Love is not a person. Love is a state. When you vibrate with it, you draw to you people, experiences, and opportunities that reflect it. When you vibrate without it, no partner, however perfect, can sustain what you lack. This is why two people can walk into the same room, one radiating love, one starving for it, and attract completely different responses. The matrix does not reward beauty, effort, or charm. It mirrors frequency. Begin by remembering this truth. You are already love, not needing, not lacking, but love itself. Strip away the fear, the doubt, the old wounds, and what remains is radiant presence. A woman named Helena discovered this after years of heartbreak. She blamed partners, fate, even God, but one night in stillness she whispered, "I am love." At first it felt hollow, yet night after night she repeated it. Soon her body softened, her eyes glowed, her laughter returned. Strangers began approaching her with warmth. Within months, she met a partner who mirrored the frequency she had finally embodied. To align with love's frequency, practice first with yourself. Stand before a mirror each evening, look into your eyes, speak words of appreciation. I honor you, I forgive you, I cherish you. At first, resistance may rise, old wounds may whisper. Persist over time, your reflection will shift, not because the face changed, but because the frequency did. Next, expand to others. Send silent blessings to those you meet, a barista, a colleague, even a stranger on the street. Whisper, "You are loved." Do not expect return. The act itself expands your field. Love multiplies when given. And as your field grows, the matrix responds by sending people who resonate with it. Love also requires boundaries. To broadcast love is not to accept abuse or neglect. Boundaries are declarations of self-love, and they refine your frequency. A man named Tobias learned this painfully. He accepted partners who drained him, believing endurance was love. Only when he declared, "I deserve respect," and walked away, did his frequency change. Soon after, he met someone who cherished him fully. The matrix had been waiting for his signal of self-respect. Practice daily rituals of love's frequency. Light candles not only for romance, but for your own heart. Write letters of gratitude to past partners, not to rekindle, but to release. Fill your space with symbols of love, flowers, colors, music that lifts the heart. Each act signals to the matrix. This field vibrates with love, and love, faithful echo, multiplies. Remember, love is not something you chase. It is something you radiate, and what you radiate cannot help but return. Step into love's frequency now before any partner arrives. Embody it so deeply that even alone, you feel full. From that fullness, relationships bloom, not as rescues, but as mirrors. The matrix, hearing your broadcast, responds with partnerships that match your state. You are not searching for love. You are remembering you are love. And when you vibrate with it, the world vibrates back, singing harmony into every relationship you touch. Chapter 18, Health as Harmony. Health is not simply the absence of illness. It is harmony, the alignment of body, mind, and spirit into one coherent broadcast. The manifestation matrix listens as keenly to the state of your cells as to the state of your thoughts. When your inner world vibrates with balance, the lattice mirrors vitality. When your field hums with stress, chaos, or neglect, it mirrors disorder. To manifest true health, you must learn to treat your body as instrument, tuning it daily so that it resonates with the music of well-being. Your body is not enemy but ally. It whispers constantly, yet most ignore it until it screams. Pain, fatigue, tension, these are not betrayals, they are signals guiding you back to harmony. The first step in manifesting health is listening. Sit quietly and scan from head to toe. Where is tightness? Where is ease? What emotions linger in the chest, the gut, the joints? This awareness alone begins alignment. The subconscious, once heard, relaxes, and relaxation is fertile soil for healing. A woman named Miriam illustrates this truth. For years, she battled insomnia. She tried medications, rigid schedules, endless remedies. Nothing worked. One night, exhausted, she sat in silence and asked her body, "What do you need?" A memory surfaced, her constant fear of failure. She realized her sleeplessness was her body's refusal to rest, while fear raged. She began practicing nightly affirmations of safety, paired with gentle breathing. Within weeks, her sleep returned. She had not forced healing, she had aligned with it. Nutrition, movement, and rest are not chores. They are rituals of alignment. Food carries vibration. Fresh fruits, vegetables, and clean water hum with life force, programming your cells with vitality. Processed foods hum with stagnation, programming fatigue. Movement stirs energy, clearing blockages, amplifying circulation. Stillness restores, allowing the body to repair. When treated with reverence, these simple acts broadcast, "I am well," and the matrix mirrors wellness. But health extends beyond physical acts. Thoughts and emotions are potent. Constant criticism of the body broadcasts shame, and shame breeds disorder. Appreciation broadcasts harmony, and harmony breeds vitality. Begin speaking to your body with kindness. Each morning whisper, "Thank you, heart, for beating. Thank you, lungs, for breathing. Thank you, legs, for carrying me." These words are not sentiment, they are frequency. Your body listens, the matrix listens, both respond. A man named Elias, long plagued by back pain, practiced this. Instead of cursing his spine, he began thanking it daily. He visualized golden light flowing through it, strong and supple. Within months, his pain eased. His doctors were puzzled. He was not. He had tuned his body back to harmony, to deepen health. Integrate the practice of visualization. Imagine light flooding every cell, washing away stagnation. See your organs glowing, your skin radiant, your blood flowing freely. Pair this with emotion. Feel gratitude for the vitality already present. The subconscious accepts these images and the matrix responds with alignment. Do not mistake this for denial of illness. Acknowledgement is vital, but acknowledgement must be paired with reprogramming. Illness says, "You are out of tune." Healing says, "Let us return to harmony." Both are true. You hold the baton. Each night as you lie in bed, place a hand on your heart. Whisper, "I am harmony. I am whole." Breathe slowly until you feel peace spread. Sleep in that vibration. Each morning, rise with gentle movement, drink water, and honor the temple of your body. These simple acts compound into vitality, not as miracle, but as law. Health is not random. It is resonance. Align your body, mind, and spirit, and the manifestation matrix mirrors vitality. Treat your body as instrument, your thoughts as conductor, your emotions as choir. Together, they create harmony, and when harmony is broadcast, health follows faithfully, like an echo in a valley, returning stronger each time it is sung. Chapter 19, Creative Flow Protocol. There is a river that runs through every human being, an endless current of imagination and inspiration. Some call it muse, others call it genius, but in truth, it is simply the flow of life itself, forever seeking expression through you. When you block it with fear, self-doubt, or perfectionism, the river backs up, turning to frustration and stagnation. But when you open to it with trust, the current carries you effortlessly. The manifestation matrix is deeply responsive to creativity, for creation is its essence. When you step into flow, you align with the universal pulse, and the matrix bends gladly to assist. The creative flow protocol is not about forcing art or brilliance. It is about removing the stones that dam the river, creating conditions for inspiration to move freely. Too often, people believe creativity must strike like lightning, random and rare. But lightning strikes because of conditions, charge, atmosphere, openness. The same is true with flow. You cannot control when it arrives, but you can create the conditions where it cannot help but appear. Begin with ritual. Flow responds to rhythm. Choose a space and time each day, however small, dedicated solely to creation. Do not wait for inspiration. Prepare for it. Light a candle, play music, breathe deeply, or perform a simple act that signals, "Now we create." The subconscious loves such cues. Over time, it associates the ritual with flow, and soon inspiration begins arriving on command. A poet named Aurelia proved this. For years, she waited for inspiration, writing only when it came, sometimes months apart. Her work was sporadic, her spirit restless. When she began a nightly ritual, tea, candle, 5 minutes of free writing, something shifted. Within weeks, words flowed each evening. Within months, she had an entire collection. The matrix had always been ready. Her ritual opened the door. The second element is permission. Perfectionism is poison to flow. The river cannot move through a clenched fist. You must allow yourself to create badly, to stumble, to spill nonsense on the page or canvas. This act of surrender invites the current. From mess, beauty emerges. From chaos, patterns appear. A sculptor once said, "I carve until the angel appears." He did not wait for the angel first. He carved, trusting the form to reveal itself. Next, movement. Flow is not static. When stuck, move your body. Walk, dance, breathe. Many breakthroughs occur not at the desk, but in motion. Einstein's theories came during walks. Musicians hear melodies while traveling. Movement stirs the current, shaking loose new connections. The subconscious loves rhythm, and movement provides it. Silence is equally vital. The river cannot be heard when the mind is filled with noise. Daily silence, even 5 minutes, trains you to hear the whisper beneath thought. Inspiration speaks quietly. You must create space to listen. Another key is curiosity. Approach creation not as duty, but as play. Ask, what if? Let your mind wander without judgment. Curiosity is invitation, and the matrix responds to invitations with surprising answers. A musician named Leo once lost his spark. His songs felt dull. Instead of forcing, he played with sounds, recording rain, tapping glasses, humming nonsense. Soon melodies returned, fresh and alive. Curiosity had coaxed the flow back. The final step is trust. Creativity is infinite, but only if you trust it. Many fear they will run out of ideas, so they hoard, delay, and hesitate. Yet the more you use, the more arrives. Flow multiplies with expression. The matrix rewards openness, not withholding. Practice the creative flow protocol: ritual, permission, movement, silence, curiosity, and trust. Together, they open the river. Once open, you need not chase inspiration. It chases you. Projects finish, ideas spark, solutions arrive as if whispered by unseen guides. The current runs through you always. When you align with it, life itself feels lighter, more playful, more expansive. The matrix is not only about wealth or health, it delights in creation. Step into flow, and you align with the universe's own joy, becoming co-creator with the infinite. Chapter 20. The Environment Edit. The space you inhabit is not neutral. Every object hums, every color whispers, every arrangement broadcasts frequencies. Your subconscious absorbs constantly. You may affirm abundance daily. Yet if you sleep in clutter, eat at a broken table, or work at a desk piled with chaos, the matrix mirrors confusion. To manifest cleanly, you must edit your environment until it reflects your desired state. Your space becomes your silent partner, broadcasting intentions even when your mind forgets. The ancients knew this truth. Temples were built with symmetry, sacred geometry guiding every stone. Homes were aligned with stars and rivers, colors chosen for their frequencies. Nothing was accidental. They understood that space shapes consciousness, and consciousness shapes reality. Modern life forgets, filling homes with random objects, broken items, and unconsidered noise. But your subconscious notices every detail. A cracked mirror whispers, "I am broken." An unpaid bill on the counter whispers, "I am lacking." The matrix listens to these whispers. To begin the environment edit, walk through your home as though you are a stranger. What does each space say? Does your bedroom whisper rest or restlessness? Does your desk say focus or distraction? Does your kitchen speak of nourishment or neglect? Be honest. Your space is your broadcast. A woman named Camilla longed for love, but lived in a room filled with reminders of heartbreak, old photos, gifts from ex-lovers, clothes that carried sorrow. Her subconscious absorbed this daily, and the matrix mirrored more loneliness. Guided by wisdom, she cleared it all. She placed fresh flowers, lit candles, hung art that spoke of joy. Within months, love entered her life. Her environment had shifted, and so had her frequency. Begin clearing. Remove anything broken, unused, or tied to painful memory. Each object is either ally or saboteur. Keep only what amplifies your intentions. This is not about wealth, but resonance. Even simple spaces, clean and intentional, broadcast power. Next, add symbols of your desires. If you seek abundance, place a golden coin or crystal where you see it often. If you seek peace, add soft colors, plants, or water elements. If you seek vitality, let sunlight flood your space. These anchors speak silently to the subconscious, reinforcing your broadcast. Scent is powerful. Incense, essential oils, or even the smell of fresh herbs bypass the mind and speak directly to your emotional brain. Choose scents aligned with your desires. Lavender for peace, citrus for energy, rose for love. Sound matters too. Fill your environment with music that uplifts rather than drains. Silence television chatter that programs fear. Every sound carries vibration, shaping your subconscious whether you notice or not. A man named Marcus practiced this with finances. His desk was cluttered with unpaid bills, broken pens, and dusty papers. He cleared it, placed a single plant, a neat folder for bills, and a golden bowl with coins. Soon his income stabilized. His desk no longer whispered lack, but organization and flow. The matrix responded in kind. Your environment is not decoration, it is declaration. Edit it until every corner reflects the life you are calling forth. Cleanliness, intentionality, and resonance are your tools. Once aligned, your space works for you constantly, broadcasting clarity even as you sleep. Do not underestimate the power of place. You live inside your broadcast. Edit it, and the matrix will echo the harmony of your chosen environment, drawing experiences that match the frequency of your walls, your objects, your air. Chapter 21, Synchronicity Navigation. Life is not random. Beneath the surface hums a tapestry of signs, symbols, and connections that appear when you are tuned to see them. These are synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that reveal the matrix weaving with you. Most dismiss them as luck, but those who know recognize them as guidance. Synchronicity is the compass the universe offers, pointing you toward alignment. To navigate it is to walk with certainty, even when the path is unclear. Synchronicities arrive as whispers, a book falling open to the exact sentence you needed, a stranger speaking the phrase you had just written in your journal, numbers repeating on clocks and receipts, dreams echoing in waking life. The matrix arranges these not to entertain, but to direct. They are feedback loops, confirming your broadcast or nudging you to adjust. A man named Adrian once faced a choice: remain in his job or pursue his passion. Unsure, he asked for a sign. That week, 3 unrelated people mentioned his passion casually. Strangers quoted lines from the very book that inspired him. And his dream repeated the same symbol, a doorway opening. He recognized the guidance. He quit the job and stepped into new work that soon flourished. The matrix had spoken through synchronicity, and he had listened. To work with synchronicity, you must first notice. Slow down, pay attention. Keep a journal of repeating symbols, numbers, or encounters. Over time, patterns emerge, a personal language of the matrix. For one, butterflies may symbolize transformation. For another, songs may carry messages. There is no universal dictionary. Your soul knows the code. Next, ask deliberately. Before sleep, whisper, "Show me guidance." Then watch for signs in dreams and days. The matrix responds swiftly when asked. A woman named Layla practiced this before deciding on travel. She asked for clarity. The next morning, 3 emails mentioned the same city. She recognized the direction, followed it, and discovered opportunities that transformed her life. Finally, respond. Synchronicity is not entertainment. It is instruction. When signs repeat, act. The matrix rewards responsiveness. Ignore them and they fade. Honor them and they multiply. Synchronicities also confirm alignment. When numbers, symbols, or coincidences appear frequently, it means your signal is clear and the matrix is echoing loudly. Celebrate them. Use them as reassurance that you are on path. Practice this today. Ask for a sign. Regarding a question, stay open. Record what arrives. Do not force. Trust. The matrix will whisper in symbols, repeating until you notice. When you do, follow. Synchronicity is the language of the universe. Learn it, and you never walk blindly. You walk guided, each step confirmed, each turn illuminated. The matrix is always speaking. Your task is to listen, to recognize, and to navigate. When you do, life feels less like struggle and more like dance, timed perfectly, choreographed invisibly, yet always in harmony with your highest path. Chapter 22. The Probable Future. Time is not the straight arrow you were taught to believe. It is not one road stretching forward and back. Instead, imagine a vast plain covered in countless paths, some worn and visible, others faint, waiting for footsteps. Every choice you make bends you toward one of these trails. Every thought, every feeling, every action broadcasts into the matrix, lighting up one probability over another. What you call future is not fixed. It is a field of probabilities, shimmering like stars. And you, through awareness and intention, can select the ones you walk into. Most live unconsciously, stumbling onto probabilities without awareness. They believe fate has dealt them a hand, when in truth, they have been broadcasting doubt, fear, or complacency, and the matrix has faithfully mirrored it. But those who learn to see the probable futures and choose become architects of destiny. This is not fantasy. It is alignment with the mechanics of consciousness. How then do you glimpse probable futures? Begin with quiet inquiry. When faced with a decision, sit in silence, close your eyes, and imagine 2 or 3 different outcomes. Notice the sensations in your body. One path may feel heavy, constricting, anxious. Another may feel light, expansive, calm. These sensations are not random. They are feedback from your subconscious, tuned into the matrix's probabilities. Your body is antenna. It knows. A man named Victor faced such a decision, whether to stay in his stable job or risk a new venture. He meditated on each path. When imagining staying, his chest tightened, his breath shortened. When imagining leaving, his shoulders relaxed, his breath deepened. Though fear still whispered, he chose the lighter path. Within months, his venture thrived. He had not predicted the future. He had chosen the probable one that resonated with his soul. Dreams are another window. Before sleep, pose a question. Show me the future if I choose this. The subconscious, free from waking filters, will often reveal symbolic glimpses. A locked door may indicate resistance. A wide river may indicate flow. Do not overanalyze. Instead, notice the emotional tone. It is the frequency that matters. Synchronicities also confirm probabilities. When signs repeat around a choice, a phrase, a symbol, a number, the matrix is whispering alignment. Pay attention. These are breadcrumbs guiding you to the path most resonant. The practice of backcasting strengthens this power. Once you glimpse a probable future you desire, imagine standing in it fully realized. Then ask, what had to happen to get me here? Walk backwards step by step, identifying milestones. This not only clarifies the path, but signals to the matrix your readiness to embody it. A woman named Elena longed to publish her art. She visualized herself at her gallery opening, speaking to collectors. Then she backcasted. She saw herself with a finished portfolio, then creating daily pieces, then dedicating 1 hour each morning. She followed these steps. Within 2 years, her gallery dream was reality. She had chosen her probable future and walked into it. The danger lies in drifting unconsciously into futures you do not desire. Worrying about disaster, replaying failure, or imagining rejection strengthens those probabilities. The matrix, faithful and neutral, responds. This is why vigilance of thought is essential. Each rehearsal is a vote for one timeline or another. Tonight, sit quietly. Choose one area of life. Imagine the possible futures branching before you. Which feels light, which feels heavy. Choose consciously. Backcast the steps, then begin walking, knowing the matrix is bending to mirror your broadcast. You are not trapped in fate. You are a navigator of probability. The future is not written. It is waiting, shimmering with options. Choose, align, and walk. The probable becomes the actual, not because it was forced, but because you tuned to it. And the matrix, as always, reflected your signal with precision. Chapter 23, The Gentle Quit. There is a secret most manifestors overlook. Letting go is as powerful as holding on. Too often, people cling desperately to goals that no longer resonate, carrying them like heavy stones. They keep broadcasting desires they no longer truly want, and the matrix, obedient, delivers resistance and delay. The gentle quit is the art of releasing what is misaligned, not with despair or anger, but with clarity and grace. Every desire has a season. Some arise to teach you lessons, to stretch your vision, to reveal strength. Once their purpose is served, they dissolve naturally. Yet many resist, gripping tightly out of pride, fear, or the belief that quitting equals failure. But true failure is not quitting. It is persisting in what your soul no longer desires. The matrix listens not to your words, but to your frequency. If your heart has left a goal, yet your mind clings, your broadcast is divided. Division yields stagnation. A woman named Clara once dreamed of becoming a lawyer. She pushed for years, forcing herself through exams, ignoring exhaustion. Yet inside, her soul longed for art. Her results were constant struggle. At last, she whispered, "I release this path." She quit gently, thanking the lessons. Immediately, her energy surged. She began painting. Within 2 years, her art flourished into a career. By quitting what was not hers, she opened space for what was. The gentle quit begins with inquiry. Ask yourself, does this desire still light me up? Or am I pursuing it for validation, obligation, or fear of letting go? If the answer reveals heaviness, you may be clinging. Honesty is required here. Many carry desires inherited from family, culture, or past selves. Release them without shame. Next, honor the path. Before quitting, acknowledge what it gave you. Write a letter. Thank you for teaching me discipline, patience, clarity. Gratitude dissolves bitterness and keeps your frequency clean. Without gratitude, quitting becomes failure. With gratitude, it becomes graduation. Then, release ritual. Burn the letter, return the books, clear the space. These physical acts signal closure to your subconscious. The matrix receives the message. The signal is no longer divided. Space opens. New frequencies enter. A man named Robert illustrates this. He spent a decade trying to write a novel. Each attempt ended in frustration. Finally, he admitted he did not love fiction. He loved teaching. He quit gently, honoring his attempts. Soon, he began writing educational guides. These sold widely, bringing fulfillment and prosperity. His quit was not surrender, but alignment. Remember, the gentle quit is not abandoning effort when things are hard. Growth requires persistence. The test is this: does the desire still resonate beneath the struggle? If yes, persist. If no, release. Only you can know. When you quit gently, you reclaim energy. That energy fuels desires that are alive. The Matrix mirrors this by accelerating aligned paths. Life feels lighter, opportunities appear, synchronicities multiply. The stone is dropped and you walk faster, freer. Tonight, review your goals. Which still sing? Which feel like burdens? For those that no longer resonate, practice gratitude, then let them go. Whisper, I release what is not mine. I make space for what is. Sleep in that state. Tomorrow, notice what arises. The Matrix, relieved of contradiction, will bring you clarity and fresh momentum. Quitting is not failure. It is refinement. It is choosing alignment over ego. It is making space for the true desires of your soul. Practice the gentle quit, and you will discover that letting go is not loss, but liberation, the doorway through which your authentic destiny enters. Chapter 24, Conversation with the Field. The manifestation matrix is not a one-way system. It is not merely mirror, but partner. Too often people treat it as passive, sending out intentions and waiting silently for results. But those who learn to converse with it, ask, listen, respond, discover guidance flowing constantly. The field is alive. It speaks in symbols, synchronicities, dreams, feelings, and whispers. To ignore it is to live half-deaf. To converse with it is to walk in dialogue with creation itself. Every moment is an opportunity to converse. You ask with thought, you listen with awareness, you respond with action. The field replies faithfully. It is not silent, it is subtle. Like a friend who prefers whispers to shouts, it waits for you to lean in. Begin the conversation with questions. Before sleep, ask, what is my next step? Where should I focus? What must I release? Do not demand, simply invite, then watch. Answers may come in dreams, as sudden ideas upon waking, or as symbols in your day. A repeated phrase, a chance encounter, a strong gut feeling, these are replies. A woman named Sophia tested this. Unsure whether to move cities, she asked the field before sleep, show me guidance. That week, she saw 3 separate signs naming the city she considered, and a stranger handed her a flyer for housing there. She recognized the reply. She moved and her life blossomed. Listening requires stillness. The field speaks, but if your mind is loud with fear or distraction, you miss it. Practice daily moments of silence. Breathe, release thought, and attune. Notice sensations in the body, shifts in mood, sudden clarity. These are responses. Responding is the final step. When guidance arrives, act. If you ask for direction and signs point clearly, yet you ignore them, the field grows quiet. But if you act, even with small steps, the dialogue deepens. The matrix rewards responsiveness. A man named Daniel once asked whether to pursue a partnership. The next day, he overheard strangers warning about unreliable allies, and his gut tightened each time he considered the deal. He recognized the field's reply. Not this one. He declined. Weeks later, the potential partner collapsed into scandal. The field had spoken. He had listened. The conversation also deepens trust. Many feel alone, carrying burdens as though no intelligence supports them. But once you converse, you realize the universe is responsive, interactive, intimate. You are not alone. You are co-creating, dialoguing with the infinite. Begin the practice tonight. Ask a question before sleep. Record what arises in dreams or days. Respond to the guidance. Then repeat. Over time, the dialogue becomes fluent. You begin to live as though in partnership with the field. And indeed, you are. The field is alive, attentive, and endlessly responsive. Speak to it with sincerity. Listen with openness. Respond with courage. Do this and your life becomes a conversation, fluid, guided, co-created. You no longer hurl wishes into silence. You walk hand in hand with creation, every step confirmed, every turn guided, every desire shaped in dialogue. The manifestation matrix is not a machine. It is intelligence. It is presence. It is friend. And it has been waiting for you to speak. Chapter 25. Calibrated confidence. Confidence is not bravado, nor is it arrogance. It is not loudness, nor the absence of doubt. True confidence is calibration, an inner steadiness that grows from repeated proof, a quiet trust that says, I know who I am, I know what I carry, I know I am held. The manifestation matrix responds more faithfully to confidence than to pleading, for confidence broadcasts certainty. When you speak with conviction, when you act with assurance, when you rest in knowing, the lattice mirrors back circumstances that affirm it. Yet many misunderstand confidence. They imagine it must arrive first, before action, like a blessing. In truth, confidence comes after action, built brick by brick through lived evidence. A singer gains confidence by singing, a builder by building, a leader by leading. Each small step, each win, each repetition calibrates confidence until it hums like a steady drumbeat in the chest. The matrix listens to that beat, and opportunities gather around it like dancers to rhythm. A woman named Isolde longed to share her poetry, but trembled at the thought. She waited for confidence to strike. It never did. Finally, she whispered, I will begin without it. She read her verses to 3 friends. Her voice shook, but they applauded. That night, her confidence calibrated a fraction higher. She repeated this weekly, each time gathering proof. She could read, she could be heard, she could survive the vulnerability. Months later, she read before a full hall, her voice steady as a river. The matrix had mirrored her calibrated confidence with ever-growing stages. Your task is not to conjure false bravado, but to accumulate undeniable proof. Begin small. Choose one action daily aligned with your desire. Do it imperfectly. Let the result, however small, serve as evidence. Record these wins. Review them often. Your subconscious, which doubts by habit, cannot argue with lived proof. Confidence grows not from thinking, but from evidence. Another practice is to rehearse in the imagination. See yourself succeeding vividly. Feel the emotions of completion. This primes your nervous system, so when the real moment arrives, your body responds as though it has already been there. Athletes, performers, and creators use this constantly. You can too. But beware the trap of overreach. Calibrated confidence grows best step by step. To leap too far too soon can backfire, feeding doubt. A man named Elias dreamed of speaking to thousands. He attempted it without rehearsal, failed, and retreated in shame. When guided to begin with 10 people, then 50, then 100, his confidence calibrated safely. Within years, he commanded thousands with ease. Gratitude amplifies this growth. Each time you succeed, however small, pause and thank yourself. Appreciation seals the evidence, embedding it deeply in your subconscious. Soon your identity shifts. You are one who succeeds, one who follows through, one who can. The matrix mirrors this identity faithfully. Practice tonight. Recall 3 moments in your past where you succeeded, however modestly. Feel the pride, the warmth, the certainty. Let this be your broadcast as you drift into sleep. The matrix will carry it, and tomorrow you will awaken subtly more confident, more ready, more magnetic. Confidence is calibration. Build it daily, record it, celebrate it. Let it become your steady frequency. Once it hums, the matrix cannot help but deliver circumstances that resonate, for life always reflects the confidence you carry. Chapter 26, Boundary as Blessing. The most powerful word you can whisper is not always yes, it is no. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors you choose to open or close. They declare to the matrix what you will allow, what you will not, what resonates with your soul, and what must be left behind. Without boundaries, your signal is muddy, filled with contradiction. With boundaries, your broadcast sharpens, clear and strong, and the matrix mirrors clarity with precision. Many confuse boundaries with selfishness, but in truth, they are blessings. They protect your energy, preserve your frequency, and honor your path. A river without banks becomes swamp. With banks, it flows powerfully. So too with your energy. Boundaries are your banks. A man named Jonas exemplified this. He said yes to everything, helping friends at all hours, accepting every request, never refusing work. His body grew weary, his dreams withered. The matrix mirrored exhaustion and confusion. One day he whispered, "No more." He set boundaries. Work ended at dusk. Weekends were sacred. Requests were weighed before accepted. At first, guilt burned, yet soon energy surged. Creativity returned, and his business flourished. His boundaries were blessings not only to him, but to those he served, for he could now serve fully. Boundaries begin with awareness. Notice where resentment lingers. Resentment is the signal of broken boundaries. Each time you feel drained, ask, "Where did I say yes when I meant no?" Honor the answer. The matrix listens to the frequency beneath your words, not the words themselves. If you say yes while broadcasting no, it mirrors the conflict with chaos. Next, articulate your boundaries. Write them clearly. For work, relationships, health, rest, decide what is non-negotiable. Speak them calmly, not in anger, but in clarity. Boundaries declared with peace are received as strength. Then enforce them consistently. The subconscious must believe you are serious. The first no may feel terrifying, but each repetition builds trust within yourself. That trust is magnetic. The matrix mirrors it with respect, drawing people and opportunities that honor your boundaries. A woman named Leora discovered this in love. She had long tolerated partners who dismissed her needs. Guided to set boundaries, she declared, "I will not accept dishonesty. I will not accept neglect." At first, some left, but soon one arrived who cherished her deeply. Her boundary had signaled her worth, and the matrix responded with one who reflected it. Boundaries are not punishments. They are blessings, guidelines for love, respect, and alignment. They teach others how to treat you, and they teach the matrix what to deliver. Practice tonight. Write 3 boundaries your soul craves. Whisper them aloud. Imagine the energy they preserve, the clarity they create. Sleep in that certainty. Tomorrow, begin enforcing gently with kindness but firmness. The matrix will listen. It always listens. Boundaries are love in form, love for yourself, love for others, love for alignment. Set them, honor them, live them. Watch as life reshapes itself, no longer draining you, but nourishing you, mirroring the blessing of your banks with the blessing of aligned flow. Chapter 27, When Nothing Moves. There will be seasons when you plant, water, tend, and still nothing moves. No doors open, no signals return, no dreams sprout. The air grows heavy, the silence thick. Doubt whispers, "It is not working." Fear hisses, "You have failed." But stillness is not failure. It is instruction. When nothing moves, it means the matrix is rearranging in ways unseen, or your signal requires recalibration. These pauses are sacred thresholds, asking you not to despair, but to listen. A woman named Alara lived this truth. For months, she practiced rituals faithfully, gratitude, visualization, action, yet nothing shifted. Her business remained stagnant. One night she sat in silence and asked, "What am I missing?" A whisper rose, "Rest." She realized she had been gripping too tightly. She surrendered, rested, released. Within weeks, momentum returned, greater than before. The stillness had been gestation, not rejection. When nothing moves, the first step is acceptance. Do not thrash. Thrashing muddies the waters further. Instead, breathe and whisper, "I trust." The matrix responds not to panic, but to trust. Trust signals readiness. Panic signals doubt. Next, inquire. Ask, "Am I aligned?" Sometimes the stillness reveals misalignment. Perhaps the goal is no longer true, or the method is flawed, or a hidden vow is blocking flow. Sit quietly, journal, or meditate. The answer will surface. If alignment is true, then patience is required. Seeds do not sprout overnight. Some desires require rearrangement of countless factors: people, timing, opportunities. The matrix is weaving. Your task is to hold frequency, to persist in trust, to water the soil even when barren. A man named Dorian practiced this. He longed for love. For years, no partner appeared. Instead of despair, he continued to embody love, caring for himself, sending blessings to strangers, decorating his home for two. At last, when timing aligned, love entered easily. The years of stillness were not punishment, they were preparation. Stillness also offers rest. Use it to replenish. Read, walk, dream, strengthen your body. When momentum returns, you will need energy. Rest now is not wasted, it is essential. Finally, remain open to signs. Sometimes nothing moves outwardly, yet synchronicities whisper. A number repeats, a phrase recurs, a dream lingers. These are subtle confirmations. The matrix is working. Notice them, celebrate them, let them fuel your faith. Practice tonight. If you feel stuck, sit in silence. Place a hand on your heart. Whisper, "I trust the unseen. I allow the timing. I rest in alignment." Breathe until peace replaces panic. Sleep in that state. Tomorrow, continue with gentle action, knowing the stillness is not absence, but gestation. When nothing moves, everything may be moving behind the veil. Trust, rest, align. The matrix has not forgotten you. It is preparing a harvest you cannot yet see. Stillness is not the end. It is the pause before breakthrough, the breath before the song resumes, the silence before the crescendo. Wait, trust, and soon you will see. Movement was always coming. Chapter 28. Scaling Ease. Many believe growth must come with strain, that expansion must equal exhaustion, that success is bought with sleepless nights and sacrifice. But the truth is gentler, softer, and infinitely more sustainable. The manifestation matrix does not demand you grind yourself into dust to prove worthiness. It responds to resonance, not to strain. When you learn to scale with ease, you discover that more abundance, more love, more vitality can arrive without collapse. The key is alignment, not effort. Scaling ease begins with redefining effort itself. Action is required, yes, but frantic action scatters your frequency. Ease is not laziness, it is precision. It is doing the one thing that matters most and releasing the 10 that do not. When you align thought, feeling, and action, the matrix amplifies results disproportionately. One aligned step can equal years of struggle. A man named Silas demonstrated this truth. For years, he worked 18-hour days to grow his business. His health declined, his relationships frayed, and still results trickled. At last, in exhaustion, he asked, "What is essential?" He realized only a handful of tasks created real impact. He cut the rest. He worked fewer hours, but with greater focus. Within months, his income doubled. Scaling had not required more, it had required less. The matrix mirrored his clarity, not his exhaustion. Ease also requires nervous system alignment. You cannot broadcast abundance while vibrating stress. The subconscious reads your tension as lack, and the matrix mirrors it. Begin each day by calming your system. Deep breaths, gentle stretches, moments of silence. Enter work or creation from this state. Action taken from calm vibrates differently than action taken from panic. Another element of ease is delegation. You are not meant to carry all tasks alone, whether in business, home, or relationships. Ask, what can be shared? Trust others to assist. Delegation signals worthiness. You declare, I am supported. The matrix responds by sending helpers, resources, opportunities. Scaling ease also means refining standards. Do not chase every opportunity. Say yes only to what sings with alignment. Each yes is a broadcast. If you scatter them indiscriminately, the matrix reflects confusion. If you choose carefully, it reflects focus. A woman named Delilah longed to expand her healing practice. At first, she accepted every client, even those misaligned. She grew exhausted, attracting more chaos. When she refined her standard, accepting only clients ready for transformation, her schedule lightened, her income rose, her joy multiplied. By choosing ease, she scaled naturally. The greatest secret of ease is joy. Joy is not frivolous. It is fuel. When you act from joy, your frequency rises, and the matrix mirrors it with flow. Work becomes play, and results accelerate. Begin weaving joy into every day: music, laughter, movement, gratitude. Do not postpone it for after success. Make it the foundation. Practice tonight. Choose one area of life. Ask, how can I scale this with ease, not strain? Release 3 unnecessary tasks. Focus on one aligned step. Enter tomorrow with calm breath and joyful energy. Watch how results shift. Scaling ease is mastery. It proves you trust the matrix to respond to frequency, not to force. Live this truth, and success becomes natural, sustainable, and expansive. Ease is not escape. It is alignment, and alignment always multiplies. Chapter 29, Your Personal Algorithm. Every soul carries a unique rhythm, a sequence of triggers, rituals, and responses that align them most easily with the manifestation matrix. Just as algorithms guide digital systems, you too have an algorithm, a set of practices, patterns, and preferences that unlock flow for you specifically. Others may thrive with morning rituals, while you ignite at night. Some may visualize vividly, while you respond best to written scripts. Mastery is discovering your personal algorithm and living by it. Your algorithm is not random. It reveals itself in the moments you feel most alive, most magnetic, most connected. Begin by recalling your past successes. What conditions surrounded them? Were you alone or supported? In stillness or movement? At dawn or dusk? These are clues. The matrix amplified your alignment then. It will again. A man named Adrian sought wealth but struggled. He tried every practice, affirmations, visualizations, rituals. None lasted. Then he reflected on past wins. He realized every breakthrough had come after journaling at night, writing stories of his desired future. This was his algorithm. He returned to it faithfully, and soon prosperity flowed. Your algorithm may involve sensory anchors. Some are stirred by music, others by scents, others by touch. Experiment. Notice when your emotions ignite most strongly. That ignition is signal strength. The matrix responds to strong signals. Another component is rhythm. Some thrive on daily consistency, repeating rituals at the same time. Others thrive on cycles, aligning with moon phases or seasons. There is no single right way. There is only your way. Discover it by testing, observing, refining. Boundaries and environments also shape your algorithm. Perhaps silence fuels your alignment, or perhaps collaboration does. Perhaps your workspace must be minimalist, or perhaps rich with symbols. Notice, record, refine. A woman named Sophia discovered her algorithm through trial. She struggled with health. She tried strict diets, intense workouts, rigid schedules. None lasted. Then she noticed her health improved most. when she danced joyfully for 20 minutes each morning and spoke gratitude aloud at night. She built her algorithm around this. Within months, her vitality returned. The key is consistency. Once you know your triggers, practice them daily. Repetition engraves them into the subconscious, turning them into automatic broadcasts. Soon, you no longer force alignment. It becomes natural. But beware of comparison. Your algorithm is yours alone. Do not mimic others blindly. Honor your uniqueness. The matrix responds to authenticity, not imitation. Tonight, begin crafting your algorithm. Recall 3 times you felt most aligned. Write the conditions. Experiment with rituals, journaling, breathwork, visualization, movement. Notice what feels alive. Build a sequence. Practice daily. Refine as needed. Within weeks, you will notice smoother flow, stronger synchronicities, faster manifestations. Life will feel as though it is coded for you, because it is. Your algorithm is the code your soul already carries. Discover it, practice it, trust it. The matrix responds most powerfully when you are fully yourself. Chapter 30, Living as the Key. The journey has brought you through signal and noise, identity and imagery, rituals and boundaries, cycles and synchronicities. Each chapter has revealed tools, practices, perspectives. But now, at the end, you must understand the greatest truth. You are not only working with the manifestation matrix, you are the key to it. The matrix is not outside you, waiting for permission. It lives within you, responding to every thought, feeling, and breath. To live as the key is to stop seeking and to start being. Living as the key means embodying alignment as your natural state. You no longer ask, will this work? You know. Doubt fades into curiosity. Fear dissolves into trust. You walk each day as co-creator, not beggar. The universe does not withhold, it reflects. You no longer plead, you broadcast. You no longer chase, you attract. A man named Elias illustrates this. He spent years reading, studying, practicing, yet always doubting. One night, exhausted, he whispered, "I am the one who decides." Something shifted. He stopped treating manifestation as trick or secret. He began living it as ordinary truth. He walked taller, spoke clearer, acted with calm certainty. Opportunities rushed to meet him. He had become the key. To live as the key is to integrate all you have learned. Gratitude is not occasional, it is breath. Visualization is not ritual, it is habit. Boundaries are not experiments, they are identity. Synchronicities are not surprises, they are conversations. Every practice dissolves into lifestyle, until the line between practice and being disappears. This is mastery, not perfection, but embodiment. You become the frequency, and the matrix cannot help but mirror it. Your desires arrive not as miracles, but as inevitabilities. You are no longer surprised by abundance, by love, by health. You expect them because they match who you are. Living as the key also means responsibility. If the matrix mirrors you, then every outcome is feedback. You no longer blame, you adjust. You refine, you listen. This is power. The realization that nothing is against you, everything is responding to you. Tonight, whisper this truth. I am the key. Let it sink into your bones. Tomorrow, live it. Walk as though the world is your mirror, reflecting your inner broadcast. Speak as though every word seeds reality. Act as though every choice opens probability. Trust as though the universe is your partner. The journey is not ending here, it is beginning anew. Each night you sleep, each morning you rise, you enter the laboratory of creation. Now you know you are not apprentice, you are master. The manifestation matrix is not mystery, it is mirror, and you are the one holding the key. Live it, breathe it, embody it, become it. The matrix will echo endlessly, faithfully, joyfully. For you are not separate from creation. You are creation itself, remembering its power, and when you live as the key, you never want for anything again. Chapter 31. The Dream Detective's Investigation. Every night, your sleeping mind weaves stories. Characters emerge, landscapes shift, symbols glow with meaning. Most dismiss dreams as random firings of the brain, curiosities to forget upon waking. Yet the ancients knew better. They recorded dreams as messages, tracked symbols as oracles, and treated sleep as a council chamber with the unseen. The truth is simple. Your dreams are not accidents. They are investigations, reports from your subconscious, filled with clues about your broadcast to the matrix. To ignore them is to overlook a treasure chest of guidance. Dreams are detectives. They investigate your desires, your doubts, your hidden vows. They reveal what you are truly broadcasting, not merely what you think you are. A woman may affirm abundance by day, yet dream of scarcity at night, showing the subconscious still bound to fear. A man may declare self-love, yet dream of rejection, revealing old wounds unhealed. Dreams show the evidence, and your task is to interpret. Begin by recording. Place a journal by your bed. The moment you wake, write everything you recall, images, feelings, fragments. Do not judge, do not edit. Over time, patterns emerge. Repeated symbols carry messages unique to you. For one, water may mean emotion. For another, it may mean opportunity. Your subconscious speaks a personal language. Learn it. A merchant named Paul once struggled with stagnation. Each night, he dreamed of locked doors. Recording this, he realized he carried a hidden vow. I must not surpass my father. The dream detective had uncovered the case. He released the vow, affirming, I open every door. Soon, opportunities appeared. The matrix had waited for his alignment. Dream emotions are just as telling as symbols. Waking life may hide your feelings, but dreams do not. If you feel fear, anger, or joy in a dream, notice it. Emotions are the raw frequency you are broadcasting. Adjust accordingly. Another practice is dream incubation. Before sleep, pose a question. What is blocking me? Or what steps should I take? Write it down, whisper it aloud, and drift off. The subconscious will often reply through symbols or narratives. A teacher named Lila asked for guidance about a new project. That night, she dreamed of planting seeds in fertile soil. She awoke knowing it was time to begin, even if results were not immediate. She trusted the dream. Months later, her project blossomed. Dream detectives also reveal alignment. When dreams become vivid, joyful, and filled with flowing images, it means your subconscious is in harmony with your desires. This is confirmation. Your signal is clear, and the matrix is amplifying it. Celebrate such dreams, for they show success is already unfolding. But do not dismiss nightmares. They are not punishments, they are warnings. A nightmare often signals resistance, fear, or misalignment. Treat them as detectives pointing to the crime scene. Investigate, heal, realign. Once you do, the nightmare fades. Practice tonight. Ask one question of your dreams. Record the answer in the morning. Repeat. Over time, you will develop fluency in your dream language. The matrix will use it to communicate more often, guiding you through symbols and emotions. You are not merely dreamer, you are detective. Each night, you investigate your own subconscious, uncovering clues, solving mysteries, decoding messages. And each clue, once understood, aligns your broadcast more clearly with the matrix. Dreams are not idle. They are guidance. Honor them, and you honor the dialogue with creation itself. Chapter 32. The Manifestation Mathematician. Beneath the poetry of life lies pattern. Beneath the beauty of flowers, galaxies, shells, and rivers lies geometry, spirals, ratios, sequences. The universe hums in mathematics. This is not cold calculation, but sacred order. And when you learn to align your desires with these patterns, the manifestation matrix responds with amplified precision. To become a manifestation mathematician is not to calculate endlessly, but to recognize and apply the sacred numbers and forms woven into reality. Consider the golden ratio, phi 1.618, a proportion found in sunflowers, hurricanes, human bodies, and galaxies. This ratio represents harmony, balance, expansion. When you visualize desires using spirals based on this ratio, you align your subconscious with the order of creation itself. Imagine your goals expanding like a golden spiral, each turn amplifying, each cycle widening. The subconscious loves such patterns. The matrix mirrors them with growth that feels natural and inevitable. Another is the Fibonacci sequence, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and onward. This sequence appears in nature's growth, petals, pine cones, shells. It represents progression, small steps compounding into grandeur. Apply this to your desires. Begin with one small action. Double it, add to it, let it build in natural increments. Soon, what felt impossible expands gracefully. The matrix favors progression over leaps. A man named Otto practiced this with his finances. He structured his savings according to Fibonacci numbers. 1 coin, then 1 more, then 2, then 3, then 5. It seemed laughable at first, yet the rhythm created consistency. His subconscious embraced the growth. Within years, his wealth expanded far beyond the coins, aligned with the universal sequence. Numbers themselves carry vibration. 3 represents creation, thought, word, deed. 7 represents completion. 8 represents infinity, cycles of return. 11 symbolizes gateways, alignment. When setting intentions, you can use these numbers deliberately. Speak affirmations 3 times. Light candles in 7s. Write desires in 8s. These repetitions signal sacred rhythm. The matrix responds not just to content, but to structure. Symbols matter too. Circles represent wholeness, triangles stability, squares foundation, spirals expansion. When you draw or meditate on these forms while focusing on desires, your subconscious encodes the geometry. The matrix, fluent in pattern, reflects it. A woman named Karina desired health. Guided into sacred geometry, she began visualizing her body within a glowing circle, complete and whole. Each night she meditated on the form. Her subconscious accepted wholeness as reality. Within months, her vitality returned. The circle had reprogrammed her frequency. Mathematics may seem abstract, but it is language of the matrix. By using it intentionally, you amplify your signal. Try this tonight. Write your desire, then arrange it within a triangle. 3 points labeled thought, feeling, action. Meditate on the shape, or spiral your words outward like Fibonacci, each turn expanding. These acts are not superstition, they are resonance. The manifestation mathematician does not see life as chaos. They see numbers, patterns, sequences. They align with them, trusting the same intelligence that grows galaxies to grow their desires. You can do the same. The matrix is order disguised as mystery. Speak its language. Sacred numbers, forms, sequences, and it responds eagerly. You are not forcing reality, you are harmonizing with it. And harmony multiplies. Chapter 33. The Collective Consciousness Connector. Your mind is not an island. Your thoughts are not private ripples lost in silence. They are waves in a vast ocean, touching every other wave. The manifestation matrix does not separate you from humanity. It interweaves you. Every desire you plant, every frequency you broadcast, contributes to the field of collective consciousness. And this field, in turn, influences you. To ignore it is to miss half the equation. To connect with it consciously is to access a vast reservoir of wisdom, power, and support. The ancients knew this. Tribes gathered in circles, prayers lifted in groups, chants repeated by many voices. They understood that collective intention amplifies. A single candle is bright, but 1,000 candles create daylight. The same is true with thought. When aligned, many minds bend the matrix with extraordinary speed. A healer named Jonas experienced this. Alone, his affirmations for health felt weak. But when his community prayed together, visualizing his vitality, his recovery accelerated. The matrix had received a broadcast multiplied by many frequencies. You too can harness collective consciousness. Begin by contributing positively. Each time you think gratitude, bless another, or send love, you uplift the field. These vibrations ripple outward, affecting others in unseen ways. In turn, you live in a cleaner, brighter field. Next, connect deliberately. Join group meditations, prayer circles, or collective intentions. Even at distance, alignment matters more than proximity. Scientific studies show that when groups meditate on peace, crime rates drop. The matrix mirrors collective broadcast. Another practice is to call upon ancestral or spiritual collectives. Before sleep, whisper, "I connect with the wisdom of humanity. I receive guidance for my highest good. Dreams, synchronicities, and ideas will arise drawn from the shared field. But beware the negative field. Mass fear, despair, and anger can cloud your frequency if you absorb unconsciously. Protect yourself with boundaries. Limit consumption of fearful media. Cleanse your space. When you feel drained, disconnect and recalibrate. The matrix mirrors the field you connect with. Choose wisely. A woman named Alina proved this. She once immersed herself in constant news of disaster. Her frequency dimmed, her life stagnated. When she shifted, joining a gratitude circle instead, her energy soared. Within months, opportunities blossomed. She had changed the field she connected with, and the matrix mirrored it. Your personal desires also ripple outward. When you manifest abundance with love, you lift the field, inspiring others. When you manifest healing, you contribute to collective health. Do not underestimate this. You are never creating for yourself alone. Every aligned act uplifts humanity. Practice tonight. Before sleep, send blessings to the collective. May all be safe. May all be loved. May all be abundant. Feel your heart expand. Know the matrix hears. Tomorrow, notice how opportunities arrive for you as well. The more you give to the field, the more the field returns. You are not separate. You are wave in vast ocean. To connect consciously is to magnify power, to receive wisdom beyond your own, to live as part of humanity's great rising. The matrix listens to the collective. When you add your frequency deliberately, you become both beneficiary and benefactor. And in this way, your personal manifestations become threads in a tapestry far greater, woven not only for you, but for all. Chapter 34, The Reality Revision Workshop. Memory is not stone, it is clay. What you recall is not a fixed photograph locked forever in time, but a living tapestry that your subconscious continues to weave with every thought you attach to it. The manifestation matrix mirrors not what happened in the past, but the meaning you assign to it. When the past still whispers pain, the matrix amplifies it into your present. When the past is rewritten with wisdom and compassion, the matrix mirrors new possibility. This is the secret of the Reality Revision Workshop. You cannot change what happened, but you can transform its imprint. Many carry heavy stories, a childhood of rejection that becomes a life of unworthiness, a failure in business that seeds decades of fear, a betrayal in love that echoes as loneliness. These stories, rehearsed again and again, broadcast as frequency. The matrix listens, faithful and neutral, and mirrors them with new rejections, new failures, new betrayals. Until the broadcast is revised, the pattern repeats. To revise is not to deny. You are not pretending the event never occurred. You are choosing the meaning, the lens, the frequency. Imagine your mind as a grand workshop filled with films of your past. Each night you sit in the editing chair. You can replay the same cuts, or you can splice, rewrite, overlay new scenes. When you revise with compassion, the film changes. Your subconscious accepts the new version, and the matrix mirrors it, for it knows no difference between vividly imagined memory and lived reality. A woman named Teresa carried shame from a childhood recital. She had forgotten her lines, and the laughter of her classmates haunted her into adulthood. Each time she spoke publicly, her body trembled with the memory. Guided into the workshop, she replayed the scene differently. She saw herself falter, then breathe, then smile. She imagined her teacher applauding her courage, her classmates cheering. Night after night, she rehearsed this revision until it felt more real than the old memory. Soon, when she stood to speak, her body no longer trembled. She spoke with confidence. The matrix, receiving a new broadcast, mirrored applause instead of laughter. The process begins with awareness. Notice the memories that trigger shame, fear, or grief. Write them down. These are the raw materials of your workshop. Choose one. Close your eyes. Replay it in detail. Feel the sting, the weight, then pause. Step in as director. Ask, what new meaning can I create here? What strength did this event reveal? How can I reframe this story into empowerment? Next, rewrite. Visualize the memory with new details. Perhaps the crowd clapped instead of mocked. Perhaps the loss revealed resilience. Perhaps the betrayal exposed your courage to love again. Make the revision vivid, emotional, embodied. Repeat nightly until the new version feels natural. The subconscious cannot hold two conflicting stories forever. It accepts the one rehearsed most often. Another practice is letter writing. Write to your past self, comforting them, praising them, giving them wisdom. Seal the letter, then read it aloud before bed. Your subconscious absorbs it as truth. The matrix mirrors the new broadcast. A man named Diego once failed in business, losing all savings. For years he replayed the humiliation. His subconscious broadcast, I am a failure. The matrix mirrored it with more struggle. In revision, he replayed the moment differently. He imagined himself learning, growing, standing stronger. He repeated, that failure was tuition, not punishment. Within months, new opportunities appeared. His broadcast shifted, and so did his reality. The key is repetition. One revision is spark. Many revisions are flame. Rehearse nightly until the past feels transformed. Soon the present changes. Practice tonight. Choose one memory that burdens you. Replay it, revise it. Speak aloud. I am free. I am wiser. I am whole. Sleep with this broadcast. The matrix will listen. Tomorrow you will feel lighter. Within weeks, reality itself will shift. You are not prisoner of your past. You are editor, director, creator. The Reality Revision Workshop is always open. Enter it often. Rewrite with compassion. The matrix will mirror not what was, but what you have chosen to believe. And in that choice, you are free. Chapter 35, The Gratitude Amplification Chamber. Gratitude is the highest voltage emotion you can broadcast. It hums at a frequency so radiant that the matrix cannot help but echo it with abundance. To feel gratitude is to declare, I already have. I already am. I already live in sufficiency. The manifestation matrix mirrors this declaration instantly, multiplying the field of appreciation with more reasons to be grateful. But most brush past gratitude like a polite nod, never entering its full power. The Gratitude Amplification Chamber is the practice of dwelling in appreciation so fully, so deeply, that it becomes your constant state. And in that state, manifestation accelerates beyond imagination. The difference between casual gratitude and amplified gratitude is immersion. Casual gratitude lists 3 things quickly: food, home, health, Amplified gratitude lingers, savors, breathes. It lets the warmth swell in the chest, the smile soften the face, the tears sting the eyes. It transforms gratitude from thought into vibration. The matrix does not respond to words, it responds to vibration. A man named Gabriel discovered this. He began each night with a quick list of blessings, but his life shifted only subtly. Then he learned to amplify. Instead of writing, he sat in silence, recalling one moment in detail: the laughter of his daughter, the taste of bread, the warmth of sun on his skin. He stayed until he felt his heart ache with appreciation. Soon, doors opened, promotions, friendships, synchronicities. The matrix had received the amplified signal and mirrored it in abundance. The chamber is built through ritual. Choose a time, morning, evening, or both. Sit comfortably, close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Recall one blessing, no matter how small. Let the image grow vivid. Feel the warmth. Whisper "thank you" again and again until your body tingles. Stay as long as you can. This is immersion. Next, amplify outward. Move from one blessing to another, allowing gratitude to spiral. Begin with the personal, your body, your breath, your home. Expand to the relational, friends, family, strangers. Expand further to the universal, the earth, the sky, the stars. Let gratitude swell until you feel yourself floating in it. This is the chamber, the place where appreciation becomes your atmosphere. Another practice is future gratitude. Imagine your desires already fulfilled. Feel the thankfulness as if it were now. Say, "Thank you for the abundance. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the health." The subconscious accepts it. The matrix mirrors it. A woman named Miriam longed for partnership. Each night she imagined herself holding hands, sharing meals, laughing. She whispered, "Thank you for the love in my life." At first, her bed was empty, but her heart overflowed. Within months, a partner arrived, drawn to her frequency of sufficiency. Gratitude had amplified her broadcast, and the matrix had mirrored it. Gratitude also dissolves fear. It is impossible to feel lack while immersed in appreciation. When fear whispers, "There is not enough," gratitude replies, "There is already plenty." Fear loses its grip. Abundance flows. Practice tonight. Enter the chamber. Recall one blessing in detail. Amplify until tears rise. Whisper thanks until your chest hums. Sleep in that vibration. Tomorrow, the matrix will reflect it. Repeat nightly. Within weeks, gratitude will become your natural state. Amplified gratitude multiplies everything. It transforms perception. You see blessings where before you saw lack. It transforms emotion. You feel rich before wealth arrives, loved before romance appears, healed before health is complete. And because the matrix mirrors vibration, it multiplies these states with matching reality. The gratitude amplification chamber is always available. Enter it often. Dwell in appreciation. Radiate thankfulness. When gratitude becomes your constant frequency, you need not chase manifestation. It rushes to meet you, magnetized by your radiant broadcast. Gratitude is not step, it is state. Amplify it, and you amplify your entire life.